I'm Asher Suswine. I'll be reading Boniface.
Vicky.
Tori Devaney, Lady Bountiful.
Ben.
Bennett Pology, I'm Squire Sullen and Bagshot.
Jonathan.
I'm Jonathan Waterfield. I will play the Sullen's servant Scrub.
And we have, we have Drew.
I'm Drew Bolander, and I'm reading Archer.
And we have Sean.
Sean Buckley, Thomas Aimwell.
Kate.
Kate Nicole Shook, Cherry Boniface.
And let's see, Christina.
Christina Osterling, countrywoman, gypsy, Hounslow, and countryman.
Stephen.
Stephen Brown, Le Comte de Bel Air.
Who did I miss?
Anna Cody, reading Mrs. Sullen.
Anna Cody.
Reading Mrs. Sullen.
Hannah.
I'm Hannah Housley, and I'm reading Dorinda.
I think that's everybody.
No, it isn't. No. I'm Lawrence Asher. I'm playing Gibbet and a countryman.
Oh, you're reading The Countryman?
Yes, that's what you had sent out.
Oh dear, I'm sorry, Christina, I got that confused.
No, if we'd like to switch over, that's fine.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Question, David,
all yours.
David, is it Gibbet or Gibbet?
Gibbet.
Thank you.
Oh, Gibbet, like you get hung on.
I heard.
As opposed to giblet.
Hanged.
Yes, that's
like you got hanged on.
All right. Everybody's ready. We'll start with Act 1, Scene 1. A room in Boniface's Inn.
Chamberlain, maid, daughter Cherry. All asleep? All dead?
Here. Why do you bawl so, father? Do you think we have no ears?
You deserve to have none, you young minx. The company of the Warrington coach has stood in the hall this hour, and nobody to show them to their chambers.
And let them wait further. There's neither red coat in the coach nor footman behind it.
Sorry. But they threatened to go to another inn tonight.
That they dare not, for fear the coachman should overturn them tomorrow. Coming! Here's the London coach arrived.
Welcome, ladies.
Very welcome, gentlemen. Chamberlain, show the lion and the rose.
This way, gentlemen, this way.
Set down the things, go to the stable and see my horses well rubbed.
I shall, sir.
Are you my landlord, I suppose?
Yes, sir, I am. I'm old Will Boniface, pretty well known upon this road, as the saying is.
Oh, Mr. Boniface, your servant.
Oh, sir, what will your honor please to drink, as the saying is?
I've heard your town of Lichfield much famed for ale. I think I'll taste that.
Sir, I have now in my cellar 10 ton of the best ale in Staffordshire. 'Tis smooth as oil, sweet as milk, clear as amber, and strong as brandy, and will be just 14-year-old the 5th day of next March, old style.
You're very exact, I find, in the age of your ale.
As punctual, sir, as I am in the age of my children. I'll show you such ale. Here, tapster, broach number 1706, as the saying is. Sir, you shall taste my Anno Domini. I have lived in Lichfield, man and boy, above 58 years, and I believe have not consumed 58 ounces of meat.
At a meal, you mean, if one may guess your sense by your bulk.
Not in my life, sir. I have fed purely upon ale. I have eat my ale, drank my ale, and I always sleep upon my ale. Now, sir, you shall see. Your worship's health. Delicious, delicious. Fancy it Burgundy, only fancy it, and it's worth 10 shillings a quart.
'Tis confounded strong.
Strong, it must be so. How should we be strong that drink it?
And have you lived so long upon this ale, landlord?
58 years, upon my credit, sir. But it killed my wife, poor woman, as the saying is.
Oh, how came that to pass?
I don't know how, sir. She would not let the ale take its natural course, sir. She was for qualifying it every now and then with a dram, as the saying is. And an honest gentleman that came this way from Ireland made her a present of 12 bottles of usquebaugh. But the poor woman was never well after. But, however, I was obliged to the gentleman, you know.
Why, was it the usquebaugh that killed her?
Lady Bountiful said so. She, good lady, did what could be done. She cured her of 3 tympanies, but the 4th carried her off. But she's happy, and I'm contented, as the saying is.
Who's that Lady Bountiful you mentioned?
Odds my life, sir. We'll drink to her health. My Lady Bountiful is one of the best women. Her last husband, Sir Charles Bountiful, left her worth £1,000 a year, and I believe she lays out 1/2 on it in charitable uses for the good of her neighbors. She cures rheumatisms, ruptures, and broken shins in men, green sickness, obstructions, and fits of the mother in women, the king's evil, chin cough, and chilblains in children. In short, she has cured more people in and about Lichfield within 10 years than the doctors have killed in 20. And that's a bold word.
Well, has the lady been any other way useful in her generation?
Yes, sir. She has a daughter by Sir Charles, the finest woman in all our country, and the greatest fortune. She has a son, too, by her first husband, Squire Sullen, who married a fine lady from London the other day, if you please, sir. We'll drink his health.
And what sort of man is he?
Why, sir, the man's well enough, says little, thinks less, and does nothing at all, faith. But he's a man of great estate and values nobody.
A sportsman, I suppose.
Yes, sir, he's a man of pleasure. He plays at whist and smokes his pipe 48 hours together sometimes.
And married, you say?
Yes, aye, and to a curious woman, sir, but he wants it here, sir.
He has it there, you mean?
That's none of my business. He's my landlord, and so a man, you know, would not, but God, he's no better than... Sir, my humble service to you. Though I value not a farthing what he can do to me, I pay him his rent at quarter day. I have a good running trade, I have but one daughter, and I can give her, but no matter for that.
You're very happy, Mr. Boniface. Pray, what other company have you in town?
A power of fine ladies, and then we have the French officers.
Oh, that's right. You have a many good of those gentlemen. Pray, how do you like their company?
So well, as the saying is, that I could wish we had as many more of them. They're full of money and pay double for everything they have. They know, sir, that we paid good round taxes for the taking of them, and so they are willing to reimburse us a little. One of them lodges in my house.
Landlord, there are some French gentlemen below ask for you.
I'll wait on him. Does your master stay long in town, as the saying is?
I can't tell, as the saying is.
Come from London?
No.
Going to London, mayhap?
No.
An odd fellow, this. I beg your worship's pardon. I'll wait on you in half a minute.
Oh, the coast's clear, I see. Now, my dear Archer, welcome to Lichfield.
I thank you, my dear brother in iniquity.
Iniquity, pray thee, leave canting. You need not change your style with your dress.
Don't mistake me, Ainwell, for 'tis still my maxim that there is no scandal like rags, nor no crime so shameful as poverty.
The world confesses it every day in its practice, though men won't it for their own opinion. Who did that worthy lord, my brother, single out of the side box to sup with him the other night?
Oh, Jack Handicraft, a handsome, well-dressed, mannerly sharping rogue who keeps the best company in town.
Right, and pray, who married my lady Manslaughter the other day, the great fortune?
Why, Nick Marrowbone, a professed pickpocket and a good bowler. But he makes a handsome figure and rides in his coach that he formerly used to ride behind.
But did you observe poor Jack Generous in the park last week?
Oh, yes, with his autumnal periwig shading his melancholy face, his old coat older than anything but its fashion, with one idle hand in his pocket and with another picking his useless teeth. And though the moor was crowded with company, yet was poor Jack as single and solitary as a lion in a desert.
And as much avoided for no crime upon earth but the want of money.
And that's enough. Men must not be poor. Idleness is the root of all evil. The world's wide enough, let 'em bustle. Fortune has taken the weak under her protection, but men of sense are left to their industry.
Upon which topic we proceed, and I think, luckily hitherto, would not any man swear now that I am a man of quality, and you my servant when, if our intrinsic value were known?
Oh, come, we are the men of intrinsic value who can strike our fortunes out of ourselves, whose worth is independent of accidents in life or revolutions in government. We have heads to get money and hearts to spend it.
As to pure hearts, I grant ye, they are as willing tits as any within 20 degrees. But I can have no great opinion of our heads from the service they have done us hitherto, unless it be that they've brought us from London hither to Lichfield, made me a lord and you my servant.
That's more than you could expect already. But what money have we left?
But £200.
And the horses, clothes, rings, etc. Why, we have very good fortunes now for moderate people, and let me tell you that this £200, with the experience that we are now masters of, is a better estate than the 10 we have spent. Our friends indeed began to suspect that our pockets were low, but we came off with flying colours, showed no signs of want either in word nor deed.
Aye, and our going to Brussels was a good pretense enough for our sudden disappearing. And I warrant you, our friends imagine that we are gone of volunteering.
Why, Faith, if this prospect fails, it must e'en come to that. I am for venturing one of the hundreds, if you will, upon this knight errantry. But in case it should fail, we'll reserve the other to carry us to some counterscarp. There we may die as we lived, in a blaze.
Oh, with all my heart, and we have lived justly, Archer. We can't say that we've spent our fortunes, but that we have enjoyed them.
Right. So much pleasure for so much money. We have had our pennyworths, and had I millions, I would go to the same market again. Oh, London, London. Well, we have had our share, but let us be thankful. Past pleasures, for aught I know, are best, such as we are sure of. Those to come may disappoint us.
It has often grieved the heart of me to see how some inhuman wretches murder their kind fortunes, those that by sacrificing all to one appetite shall starve all the rest. You shall have some that live only in their palates, and in their sense of tasting shall drown the other four. Others are only epicures in appearance, such who shall starve their nights to make a figure a days, and famish their own to feed the eyes of others. A contrary sort confine their pleasures to the dark, contract their specious acres to the circuit of a muff-string.
Right, but they find the Indies in the spot where they consume them, and I think your kind keepers have much the best on it. For they indulge the most senses by one expense. There's the seeing, hearing, and the feeling, amply gratified. And some philosophers will tell you that from such a commerce there arises a sixth sense that gives infinitely more pleasures to the other five put together.
And to pass to the other extremity of all keepers, I think those the worst that keep their money.
And those are the most miserable wights in being. They destroy the rights of nature and disappoint the blessings of providence. Give me a man that keeps his five senses keen and bright as his sword, that has them always drawn out in their just order and strength, with his reason as commander at the head of them, that detaches them by turns by whatever party of pleasure agreeably offers, and commands them to retreat upon the least appearance of disadvantage or danger. For my part, I can stick to my bottle while my wine, my company, and my reason hold good. I can be charmed by Sappho's singing without falling in love with her face. I love hunting, but would not, like Actaeon, be eaten up by my own dogs. I love a fine house, but let another keep it. And just so, I love a fine woman.
And in that last particular, you have the better of me.
Aye, you are such an amorous puppy that I'm afraid you'll spoil our sport. You can't counterfeit passion without feeling it.
Though the whining part be out of doors in town, 'tis still in force with the country ladies. And let me tell you, Frank, the fool in that passion shall outdo the knave at any time.
Well, I don't dispute it now. You command for the day, and so I will submit. At Nottingham, you know, I'm to be the master.
And at Lincoln, I again.
And then at Norwich, I mount. And at Norwich, I mount, which I think shall be our last stage, for if we fail there, we'll embark for Holland, bid adieu to Venus and welcome Mars.
A match, mum.
What will your worship please to have for supper?
What have you got?
Sir, we have a delicate piece of beef in the pot and a pig at the fire.
Good supper meat, I must confess. I can't eat beef, landlord.
And I hate pig.
Hold your prating, sirrah. Do you know who you are?
Please to bespeak something else. I have everything in the house.
Have you any veal?
Veal! Sir, we had a delicate loin of veal on Wednesday last.
Oh. Have you got any fish or wild fowl?
As for fish, truly, sir, we are an inland town and indifferently provided with fish. That's the truth on it. And then for the wildfowl, we have a delicate couple of rabbits.
Ah, get me the rabbits fricasseed.
Fricasseed? Lord, sir, they'll eat much better smothered with onions.
Sure, damn your onions.
Again, sirrah! Well, landlord, what you please. But hold, I have a small charge of money, and your house is so full of strangers that I believe it may be safer in your custody than mine. For when this fellow of mine gets drunk, he tends to nothing. Here, sirrah, reach me the strong box.
Yes, sir. This will give us a reputation.
Here, landlord, the locks are sealed down both for your security and mine. It holds somewhat above 200 pound. If you doubt it, I'll count it to you after supper, but be sure you lay it where I may have it at a minute's warning, for my affairs are a little dubious. At present, perhaps I may be gone in half an hour. Perhaps I may be your guest till the best part of that be spent, and pray order your ostler to keep my horses always saddled. But one thing above the rest I must beg you, that you would let this fellow have none of your anno domini, as you call it, for he's the most insufferable sot. Here, sirrah, light me to my chamber.
Cherry, daughter Cherry.
Do you call, father?
Aye, child. You must lay by this box for the gentleman. 'Tis full of money.
Money? All that money? Why, sure, father, the gentleman comes to be chosen parliamentman. Who is he?
I don't know what to make of him. He talks of keeping his horses ready saddled and of going perhaps at a minute's warning, or of staying perhaps till the best part of this be spent.
Aye, 10 to 1, father. He's a highwayman.
A highwayman! Upon my life, girl, you have hit it. And this box is some new purchased booty. Now, could we find him out, the money were ours.
He don't belong to our gang.
What horses have they?
The master rides upon a black.
A black. 10 to 1 the man upon the black mare. And since he don't belong to our fraternity, we may betray him with a safe conscience. I don't think it lawful to harbor any rogues but my own. Look ye, child, as the saying is, we must go cunningly to work. Proofs we must have. The gentleman's servant loves drink. I'll ply him that way. And 10 to 1 he loves a wench. You must work him the other way.
Father, would you have me give my secret for his?
Consider, child, there's 200 pound to boot. Coming, coming. Child, mind your business.
What a rogue is my father. My father! I deny it. My mother was a good, generous, free-hearted woman, and I can't tell how far her good nature might have extended for the good of her children. This landlord of mine, for I think I can call him no more, would betray his guest and debauch his daughter into the bargain. By a footman, too.
What footman, pray, mistress, is so happy as to be the subject of your contemplation?
Whoever he is, friend, he'll be but little the better for it.
I hope so, for I am sure you do not think of me.
Suppose I had.
Why, then you're but even with me, for the minute I came in, I was considering in what manner I should make love to you.
Love to me?
Yes, child.
Child. Manners. If you kept a little more distance, friend, it would become you much better.
Distance? Good night, sauce box.
Pretty fellow. I like his pride. Sir, pray you see, sir. I have the credit to be entrusted with your master's fortune here, which sets me a degree above his footman, I hope. Sir, you aren't affronted?
Let me look you full in the face, and I'll tell you whether you can affront me or no. 'Sdeath, child, you have a pair of delicate eyes, and you don't know what to do with them.
Why, sir? Don't I see everybody?
Aye, but if some women had them, they should kill everybody. Prithee, instruct me. I would fain make love to you, but I don't know what to say.
Why? Did you never make love to anybody before?
Never to a person of your figure, I can assure you, madam. My addresses have been always confined to the people of my own sphere. I never aspired so high before. But you look so bright, and you're dressed so tight, that a man would swear you're right, as arm was e'er laid over. Such a free air you freely wear, to ensnare, as makes each guest a lover. Since then, my dear, I am your guest. Prithee, give me of the best, of what is ready dressed. Since then, my dear, etc.
What can I think of this man? Will you give me that song, sir?
Ah, aye, my dear. Take it while 'tis warm. Death and fire, her lips are honeycombs.
And I wish there had been bees, too, to have stung you for your impudence.
There's such a swarm of cupids, my little Venus, that has done the business much better.
This fellow is misbegotten as well as I. What's your name, sir?
Name, egad, I'd forgot. Martin.
Where were you born?
In St. Martin's Parish.
What was your father?
St. Martin's Parish.
Then, friend, good night.
I hope not.
You may depend on it.
Upon what?
That you're very impudent.
That you're very handsome.
That you're a footman.
That you're an angel.
I shall be rude.
So shall I.
Let go my hand.
Give me a kiss.
Cherry! Cherry!
My father calls. You plaguey devil. How durst you stop my breath so? Offer to follow me one step if you dare.
Fair challenge by this night. This is a pretty fair opening to an adventure. But we are knights errant, and so fortune be our guide.
Act 2, Scene 1, a gallery in Lady Bountiful's house.
Morrow, my dear sister, you for church this morning?
Anywhere to pray, for heaven alone can help me. But I think, Dorinda, there's no form of prayer in the liturgy against bad husbands.
Oh, but there's a form of law in Doctor's Common, and I swear, Sister Sullen, rather than see you this continually discontented, I would advise you apply to that. For besides the part that I bear your vexatious broils as being sister to the husband and friend to the wife, your example gives me such an impression of matrimony that I shall be apt condemn my person to a long vacation all its life. But supposing, madam, that you brought it to case of separation, what can you urge against your husband? My brother is first the most constant man alive.
The most constant husband, I grant you.
He never sleeps from you.
No, he always sleeps with me.
And he allows you maintenance suitable to your quality.
A maintenance? Do you take me, madam, for an hospital child, that I must sit down and bless my benefactors for meat, drink, and clothes? As I take it, madam, I brought your brother £10,000. out of which I might expect some pretty things called pleasures.
Are you sharing all the pleasures that the country affords?
Country pleasures, racks and torments. Just think, child, that my limbs were made for leaping of ditches and clambering over stiles, or that my parents, wisely foreseeing my future happiness in country pleasures, had early instructed me in rural accomplishments of drinking fat ale, playing at whisk, and smoking tobacco with my husband, or of spreading of plasters, brewing of diet drinks, and stealing rosemary water with the good old gentlewoman, my mother-in-law.
I'm sorry, madam, that it's not more in our power to divert you. I could wish indeed that our entertainments were a little more polite, or your taste a little less refined. But pray, madam, how came the poets and philosophers that laboured so much in hunting after pleasure to place it at last in a country life?
Because they wanted money, child, to find out the pleasures of the town. Did you ever see a poet or philosopher worth £10,000? If you can show me such a man, I'll lay you £50 you'll find him somewhere within the weekly bills. But I disapprove rural pleasures as the poets have painted them. In their landscape, every Phyllis has her Corydon. Every murmuring stream and every flowery mead gives fresh alarms to love. Besides, you'll find that their couples were never married. But yonder I see my Corydon, and the sweet swain it is, heaven knows. Come, Dorinda, don't be angry. He's my husband and your brother, and between both, is he not a sad brute?
I have nothing to say to your part of him. You're the best judge.
Sister, if ever you marry, beware of a sullen, silent sot. One that's always musing, but never thinks. There's some diversion in a talking blockhead. And since a woman must wear chains, I would have the pleasure of hearing him rattle a little. Now you shall see. But take this, by the way. He came home this morning at his usual hour of 4, wakened me out of a sweet dream of something else, by tumbling over the tea table, which he broke all to pieces. After his man and he had rolled about the room like sick passengers in a storm, he flounced into bed, dead as a salmon into a fishmonger's basket. His feet cold as ice, his breath hot as a furnace, and his hands and his face as greasy as his flannel nightcap. Oh, matrimony! Tosses up the clothes with a barbarous swing over his shoulders, disorders the whole economy of my bed, leaves me half naked, and my whole night's comfort is the tunable serenade of that wakeful nightingale, his nose. Oh, the pleasure of counting the melancholy clock by a snoring husband. You shall see how handsomely, being a well-bred man, he will beg my pardon.
My head aches consumedly.
Will you be pleased, my dear, to drink tea with us this morning? It may do your head good.
No.
Coffee, brother?
Yeah.
Will you please to dress and go to church with me? The air may help you.
Oh.
Sir?
What day of the week is this?
Sunday, and please your worship.
Sunday. Bring me a dram, and do you hear, set out the venison pasty and a tankard of strong beer on the hall table. I'll go to breakfast.
Stay, brother, you shan't get off so. You were very naught last night and must make your wife reparation. Come, brother, won't you ask pardon?
For what?
For being drunk last night.
I can afford it, can't I?
But I can't, sir.
Then you must let it alone.
But I must tell you, sir, that this is not to be borne.
I'm glad on't.
What is the reason, sir, that you use me thus inhumanely?
Oh.
Sir?
Get things ready to shave my head.
Have a care of coming near his temples, scrub, for fear you meet something there that may turn the edge of your razor. Inveterate stupidity. Did you ever know so hard, so obstinate a spleen as his? Oh, sister, I shall never have good of the beast till I get him to town. London, Dear London is the place for managing and breaking a husband.
And has not a husband the same opportunities there for humbling a wife?
No, no, child. It's a standing maxim in conjugal discipline that when a man would enslave his wife, he hurries her into the country. And when a lady would be arbitrary with her husband, she wheedles her booby up to town. A man dare not play the tyrant in London because there are so many examples to encourage the subject to rebel. Oh, Dorinda, Dorinda, a fine woman may do anything in London. My conscience, she may raise an army of 40,000 men.
I fancy, sister, you have a mind to be trying your power that way here in Lichfield. You've drawn the French court to your colours already.
The French are a people that can't live without their gallantries.
And some English that I know, sister, are not averse to such amusements.
Well, sister, since the truth must out, it may do as well now as hereafter. I think one way to rouse my lethargic, sottish husband is to give him a rival. Security begets negligence in all people, and men must be alarmed to make them alert in their duty. Women are like pictures, of no value in the hands of a fool, till he hears men of sense bid high for the purchase.
That might do, sister, if my brother's understanding were to be convinced into a passion for you, but I fancy there's a natural aversion on his side. And I fancy, sister, that you don't come much behind him if you dealt fairly.
I own it. We are united contradictions, fire and water. But I could be contented with a great many other wives to humor the censorious mob and give the world an appearance of living well with my husband. Could I bring him but to dissemble a little kindness to keep me in countenance?
But how do you know, sister, but instead of rousing your husband by this artifice to a counterfeit kindness, he should awaken a real fury?
Let him. I can't entice him to the one, I would provoke him to the other.
But how must I behave myself between you?
You must assist me.
What, against my own brother?
But half a brother, and I'm your entire friend. If I go a step beyond the bounds of honor, leave me. Till then, I expect you should go along with me in everything. While I trust my honor in your hands, you may trust your brothers and mine. The Count is to dine here today.
It's a strange thing, sister, that I can't like that man.
You like nothing. Your time is not come. Love and death have their fatalities and strike home one time or other. You'll pay for all one day, I warrant you. But come, my lady's tea is ready. It is almost church time.
Act 2, Scene 2, a room in Boniface's Inn.
And was she the daughter of the house?
The landlord is so blind as to think so, but I dare swear she has better blood in her veins.
Why does think so?
Because the baggage has a pert je ne sais quoi. She reads plays, keeps a monkey, is troubled with vapors.
By which discoveries I guess that you know more of share.
Not yet, Faith. The lady gives herself airs, forsooth, nothing under a gentleman.
Let me take her in hand.
Say one word more of that, and I'll declare myself, spoil our sport here and everywhere else. Look thee, Aimwell, every man in his own sphere.
Right. And therefore, you must pimp for your master.
In the usual forms, good sir, after I've served myself. But to our business. You are so well dressed, Tom, and make so handsome a figure that I fancy you may do execution in a country church. The exterior part strikes first, and you're in the right to make that impression favorable.
There's something in that which may turn to advantage. The appearance of a stranger in a country church draws as many gazers as a blazing star. No sooner he comes into the cathedral, but a train of whispers runs buzzing round the congregation in a moment. Who is he? Whence comes he? Do you know him? Then I, sir, tips me the verger with half a crown. He pockets the simony and inducts me into the best pew in the church. I pull out my snuff-box, turn myself round, bow to the bishop, or the dean, if he be the commanding officer, single out a beauty, rivet both my eyes to hers, set my nose a-bleeding by the strength of imagination, and show the whole church my concern by the endeavouring to hide it. After the sermon, the whole town gives me to her for a lover, and by persuading that lady that I am a-dying for her, the tables are turned, and she, in good earnest, falls in love with me.
There's nothing in this tome without precedent, but instead of riveting your eyes to a beauty, try to fix them upon a fortune. That's our business at present.
Ah, no woman can be a beauty without a fortune. Let me alone, for I am a marksman.
Tom?
I.
When were you at church before, pray?
I was there at the coronation.
And how can you expect a blessing by going to church now?
Blessing? Nay, Frank, I ask for a wife.
Truly, the man is not very unreasonable in his demands.
Well, daughter, as the saying is, have you brought Martin to confess?
Pray, father, don't put me upon getting anything out of a man. I'm but young, you know, father, and I don't understand the wheedlin'.
Young? Why, you jade, as the saying is, can any woman wheedle that is not young? Your mother was useless at 25. Not wheedle. Would you make your mother a whore and me a cuckold, as the saying is? I tell you, his silence confesses it. And his master spends his money so freely and is so much a gentleman every manner of way that he must be a highwayman.
Landlord, is the coast clear?
Oh, Mr. Gibbet, what's the news?
No matter. Ask no questions, all fair and honorable. Here, my dear Cherry. 200 sterling pounds, as good as any that ever hanged or has saved a rogue. Lay him by with the rest. And here, 3 wedding or mourning rings. Is much the same, you know. Here, 2 silver hilted swords. I took those from fellows that never show any part of the swords but the hilts. Here's the diamond necklace, which the lady hid in the privatest place in the coach. But I found it out. This gold watch I took from a broker's wife. It was left in her hands by a person of quality. There's the arms upon the case.
But who had you the money from?
Poor woman. I pitied her. From a poor lady just eloped from her husband. She made up her cargo and was bound for Ireland as hard as she could drive. She told me of her husband's barbarous usage, and so I left her half a crown. But I'd almost forgot, my dear Cherry. I have a present for you.
What is it?
A pot of ceruse, my child, that I took out of the lady's under pocket.
What, Mr. Gibbet, do you think that I paint?
You jade, your betters do. I'm sure the lady that I took it from had a coronet upon her handkerchief. Here, take my cloak and go secure the premises.
I will secure them.
But harkye, where's Hounslow and Bagshot?
They'll be here tonight.
Do you know of any other gentlemen of the pad on this road?
No.
I fancy that I have 2 that lodge in the house just now.
The devil? Do you smoke 'em?
Why, the one is gone to church.
That's suspicious, I must confess.
And the other is now in his master's chamber. He pretends to be servant to the other. We'll call him out and pump him a little.
With all my heart.
Mr. Martin! Mr. Martin!
The roads are consumed deep. I'm as dirty as old Brentford at Christmas. A good pretty fellow, that. Whose servant are you, friend?
My master's.
Really?
Really?
That's much. The fellow has been at the bar by his evasions. But pray, sir, what is your master's name?
This is the most obstinate curl.
I ask you his name.
Name, sir? No, I've never asked him his name in his life.
What think you now?
Plain. He talks now as if he were before a judge. But pray, friend, what does your master, which way does your master travel?
A horseback?
Very well, then an old offender, right? But I mean, does he go upwards or downwards?
Oh, downwards, I fear, sir.
I am afraid my fate will be a contrary way.
Mr. Martin, you're very arch. This gentleman is only traveling towards Chester and would be glad of your company. That's all. Come, Captain. You'll stay tonight, I suppose. I'll show you a chamber. Come, Captain.
Farewell, friend.
Captain, your servant. Captain? A pretty fellow. 'Sdeath, I wondered that the officers of the army don't conspire to beat all scoundrels in red but their own.
Gone, Martin here. Hope he did not listen. I would have the merit of discovery on my own because I would oblige him to love me. Mr. Martin, who was that man with my father?
Some recruiting sergeant or whipped out trooper, I suppose?
All safe, I find.
Come, my dear. Have you conned over the catechese I taught you last night?
Come, question me.
What is love?
Love is I know not what, it comes, I know not how, and goes, I know not when.
Very well, an apt scholar. How does love enter?
Into the eyes.
And where go out?
I won't tell ye.
What are the objects of that passion?
Youth, beauty, and clean linen.
The reason?
The two first are fashionable in nature, and the third at court.
Ah, that's my dear. What are the signs and tokens of that passion?
A stealing look, a stammering tongue, words improbable, designs impossible, and actions impracticable.
That's my good child. Kiss me. What must a lover do to obtain his mistress?
He must adore that person that disdains him. He must bribe the chambermaid that betrays him, and court the footman that laughs at him. He must.
Nay, child, I must whip you if you don't mind your lesson. He must treat his...
He must treat his enemies with respect, his friends with indifference, and all the world with contempt. He must suffer much and fear more. He must desire much and hope little. In short, he must embrace his ruin and throw himself away.
Had ever man so hopeful a pupil as mine. Come, my dear, why is love called a riddle?
Because, being blind, he leads those that see, and though a child, he governs a man.
Mighty well. And why is love pictured blind?
Because the painters, out of the weakness or privilege of their art, choose to hide those eyes that they could not draw.
That's my dear little scholar. Kiss me again. And why should love that's a child govern a man?
Because a child is the end of love.
And so ends love's catechism. And now, my dear, we'll go in and make my master's bed.
Hold it, Mr. Martin. You have taken a great deal of pains to instruct me. And what do you think I've learned by it?
What?
That your discourse and your habit are contradictions. And it would be nonsense in me to believe you a footman any longer.
Oons, what a witch it is.
Depend upon this, sir. Nothing in this garb shall ever tempt me. For, though I was born to servitude, I hate it. Own your condition, swear you love me, and then...
And then we shall go make my master's bed?
Yes.
You must know then that I am born a gentleman. My education was liberal, but I went to London a younger brother, fell into the hands of sharpers who stripped me of my money, my friends disowned me, and now my necessity brings me to what you see.
Then take my hand. Promise to marry me before you sleep, and I'll make you master of 2,000 pounds.
How?
2,000 pounds that I have this minute in my own custody. So throw off your livery this instant, and I'll go find a parson.
Said you a parson?
What? Do you scruple?
Scruple? No. But £2,000, you say?
And better.
Sdeath, what shall I do? But harkye, child, what need you make me master of yourself and money when you may have that same pleasure out of me and still keep your fortune in your hands?
Then you won't marry me?
I would marry you, but...
Oh, sweet sir, I'm your humble servant. You're fairly caught. Would you persuade me that any gentleman who could bear the scandal of wearing a livery would refuse £2,000, let the condition be what it would? No, sir. But I hope you'll pardon the freedom I have taken, since it was only to inform myself of the respect that I ought to pay you.
A fairly bit, by Jupiter. Hold. Have you actually £2,000?
Sir, I have my secrets as well as you. Would you please be more open? I shall be more free. And be assured, I have discoveries that will match yours, be what they will. In the meantime, be satisfied that no discovery I make shall ever hurt you. But beware of my father.
So, we are like to have as many adventures in our inn as Don Quixote had in his. Well, let me see. £2,000. If the wench would promise to die when the money was spent, egad, one would marry her. But the fortune may go off in a year or two, and the wife may live. Lord knows how long. Then an innkeeper's daughter. Aye, that's the devil. There my pride brings me off. For whatsoever the sages charge on pride, the angels fall, the 20 faults beside, on earth, I'm sure, among us of mortal calling, pride saves a man, and woman too, from falling.
Act 3, Scene 1, the gallery at Lady Bountiful's house.
My dear sister, let me place thee. Now, friends indeed, for I shall have a secret of yours as a pledge for mine. Now you'll be good for something. You converse in the subjects of the sex.
But do you think I'm so weak as to fall in love with a fellow at first sight?
Oh, now you spoil all. Why should not we be as free in our friendships as the men? I warrant you, the gentleman has got to his confidant already, has avowed his passion, toasted your health, 10,000 angels, has run over your lips, eyes, neck, shape, hair, and everything in a description that warms their mirth to a second enjoyment.
Oh, your hand, sister, aren't well.
Oh, she's breeding already. Come, child, up with him. So now tell me, don't you like the gentleman that we saw at church just now?
The man's well enough.
Well enough? Is he not a demigod, a narcissus, a star, a man in the moon?
Oh, sister, I'm extremely ill.
Listen to your mother, child, for a little of her cephalic plaster to put to the soles of your feet. Or shall I send to the gentleman for something for you? Come, unlace your stays, unbosom yourself. The man is perfectly a pretty fellow. I saw him when he first came into church.
Oh, I saw him too, sister, and with an air that shone methought like rays about his person.
Well said, up with it.
No forward coquette behaviour, no airs to set him off, no studied looks, nor artful posture, but nature did it all.
Better and better, one touch more.
But then his looks, did you observe his eyes?
Yes, I did. His eyes, well, what of his eyes?
Sprightly, but not wandering, they seemed to view, but never gazed on anything but me. Oh, and then his looks so humble were, and yet so noble that they aimed to tell me that he could with pride die at my feet, though he scorned slavery everywhere else.
The physic works purely. How do you feel yourself now, my dear?
Much better, my dear. Oh, look, here comes our Mercury. Well, Scrub, what news of the gentleman?
Madam, I have brought you a packet of news.
Well, open it quickly, come.
In the first place, I inquired who the gentleman was. They told me it was a stranger. Secondly, I asked what the gentleman was. They answered and they said that they'd never seen him before. Thirdly, I inquired what countryman he was, and they replied 'twas more than they knew. Fourthly, I demanded whence he came, and their answer was they could not tell. And fifthly, I asked whither he went, and they replied they knew nothing of the matter. And this is all I could learn.
What did the people say? Can't they guess?
Why, some think he's a spy, some guess he's a mountebank, some say one thing, some other. But, well, for my own part, I believe he's a Jesuit.
A Jesuit? Why a Jesuit?
Well, because he keeps his horses always ready saddled, and his footman talks French.
His footman?
Aye, he and the Count's footman were jabbering French like two intriguing ducks in a mill pond. And I believe they talked of me, for they laughed consumedly.
What sort of livery has the footman?
Oh, livery! Lord, madam, I took him for a captain, he's so bedizened with lace. And then he has tops to his shoes up to his mid-leg, a silver-headed cane dangling at his knuckles. He carries his hands in his pockets, just so, and he has a fine long periwig tied up in a bag. Lord, madam, he's clear another sort of man than I.
That may easily be. What shall we do now, sister?
I have it. This fellow has a world of simplicity and some cunning. The first hides the latter by abundance. Scrub.
Madam?
We have a great mind to know who this gentleman is. It's only for our own satisfaction.
Oh, yes, madam, it would be a satisfaction, no doubt.
Then you must go and get acquainted with his footman and invite him hither to drink a bottle of your ale because you're a butler today.
Well, yes, madam, I am butler every Sunday.
Oh, brave. Sister of my conscience, you understand the mathematics already. 'Tis the best plot in the world. Your mother, will be gone to church. My spouse will be got to the alehouse with his scoundrels, and the house will be our own. So we stop in by accident and ask the fellow some questions ourselves. In the country, any stranger is company. And we're glad to take up with the butler in a country dance, and happy if he'll do us the favour.
Oh, madam, you wrong me. I never refused your ladyship the favour in my life.
Ladies, dinner's on pond table.
Scrub will excuse your waiting. Go where we ordered you.
I shall.
Act 3, Scene 2. A room in Boniface's Inn.
Well, Tom, I find you're a marksman.
A marksman? Who so blind could be as not discern a swan among the ravens?
Well, but hark ye, aim well.
Aim well. Call me Orondates, Cesario, Amadis, all that romance can in a lover paint, and then I'll answer. Oh, Archer. I read her thousands in her looks. She looked like Ceres in her harvest. Corn, wine, and oil, milk and honey, gardens, groves, and purling streams played on her plenteous face.
Her face, her pocket, you mean? The corn, wine, and oil lies there. In short, she has 10,000 pounds. That's the English on it.
Her eyes.
Are demi-cannons, to be sure. So I won't stay their battery.
Pray, excuse me. My passion must have vent.
Passion? What a plague! Do you think these romantic airs will do your business? Were my temper as extravagant as yours, my adventures have something more romantic by half.
Your adventures?
Yes. The nymph that with her face 100 pounds, with brazen engine hot and coif clear starched, can fire the guest in warming of the bed. There's a touch of sublime Milton for you, and the subject but an innkeeper's daughter. I can play with a girl as the angler does with his fish. He keeps it on the end of his line, runs it up the stream and down the stream, till at last he brings it to hand, tickles the trout, and so whips it into his basket.
Mr. Martin, as the saying is, yonder's an honest fellow below, my Lady Bountiful's butler, who begs the honour that you would go home with him and see his cellar.
Do my besemant to the gentleman and tell him I will do myself the honor to wait on him immediately.
Oh, what do I hear? Soft Orpheus play and fair Tofdita sing.
Oh, damn your raptures.
Oh.
I tell you, there's a pump going to be put into a vessel, and that ship will go into harbor, my life on it. You say there's another lady very handsome here?
Yes, Faye.
And I'm in love with her already.
Can't you give me a bill upon Cherry in the meantime?
No, no, friend. All her corn, wine, and oil is engrossed in my market. And once more, I warn you to keep your anchorage clear of mine. For if you fall foul of me, by this night you shall go to the bottom. What? Make a prize of my little frigate while I go upon and cruise for you?
Well, I won't. Landlord, have you any tolerable company in the house? I don't care for dining alone.
Yes, sir, there's a captain below, as the saying is, that arrived about an hour ago.
Gentlemen of his coat are welcome everywhere. Will you make him a compliment from me and tell him I should be glad of his company?
Who shall I tell him, sir, would be very glad of it?
That stroke was well thrown in. I'm only a traveler, like himself, and would be glad of his company. That's all.
I obey your commands, as the saying is.
Steph, I forgot. What title will you give yourself?
My brother's, to be sure. He would never give me anything else, so I'll make bold with his honor this bout. You know the rest of your cue.
Aye.
I am yours.
'Tis more than I deserve, sir, for I don't know you.
I don't wonder if that's, sir, for you never saw me before. I hope.
And pray, sir, how came I by the honor of seeing you now?
Sir, I scorn to intrude upon any gentleman but my landlord.
Oh, sir, I ask your pardon. You're the captain he told me of.
At your service, sir.
What regiment, may I be so bold?
A marching regiment, sir, an old corps.
Very old, if your coat be regimental. You have served abroad, sir?
Yes, sir, in the plantations. 'Twas my lot to be sent into the worst service. I would have quitted it indeed, but a man of honor, you know. Besides, 'twas for the good of my country that I should be abroad. Anything for the good of one's country. I'm a Roman for that.
One of the first, I'll lay my life. You found the West Indies very hot, sir?
Aye, sir. Too hot for me.
Pray, sir, hadn't I seen your face at Will's coffee house?
Yes, sir, and at White's, too.
And where's your company now, Captain?
They ain't come yet.
Why? Do you expect them here?
They'll be here tonight, sir.
Which way do they march?
Across the country. Devil's in it. I hadn't said enough to encourage him to declare, but I'm afraid he's not right. I must tack about.
Is your company to quarter in Lichfield?
In this house, sir.
What? All?
My company's but thin. but we are but three.
You're merry, sir.
Aye, sir, you must excuse me, sir. I understand the world, especially the art of traveling. I don't care, sir, for answering questions directly upon the road. Could I gently ride with a charge about me?
3 or 4, I believe.
I am incredibly informed that there are highwaymen upon this quarter. Not, sir, that I could suspect a gentleman of your figure, but truly, sir, I have got such a way of evasion upon the road that I don't care for speaking truth to any man.
Your caution may be necessary. Then I presume you're no captain.
Not I, sir. Captain is a good traveling name, and so I take it. It stops a great many foolish inquiries that are generally made about gentlemen that travel. It gives a man an air of something and makes the draws obedient. And thus far, I am a captain and no father.
And pray, sir, what is your true profession?
Oh, sir, you must excuse me. Upon my word, sir, I don't think it's safe to tell ye.
Upon my word, I commend you. Well, Mr. Boniface, what's the news?
There's another gentleman below, as the saying is, that hearing you were but 2, would be glad to make the 3rd man, if you would give him leave.
What is he?
A clergyman, as the saying is.
A clergyman? Is he really a clergyman? Or is it only his traveling name, as my friend the captain has it?
Oh, sir, he's a priest, and chaplain to the French officers in town.
Is he a Frenchman?
Yes, sir, born at Brussels.
A Frenchman? And a priest? Oh, I won't be seen in his company, sir. I have value for my reputation, sir.
Nay, but captain, since we are by ourselves, can he speak English, landlord?
Very well, sir. You may know him, as the saying is, to be a foreigner by his accent, and that's all.
Then he has been in England before.
Never, sir. But he's a master of languages, as the saying is. Talks Latin. He talks Latin. It does me good to hear him talk Latin.
Oh, then you understand Latin, Mr. Boniface.
Not I, sir, as the saying is. But he talks it so very fast that I'm sure it must be good.
Pray, desire him to walk up.
Here he is, as the saying is.
Save you, gentlemen, sport.
Frenchman. Sir, your most humble servant.
Oh, dear joy, I am your most faithful servant, and yours also.
Doctor, you talk very good English, but you have a mighty twang of the foreigner.
My English is very well for the words, but we foreigners, cannot bring our tongues about the pronunciation so soon.
A foreigner, a downright teeth by this light. Were you born in France, Doctor?
I was educated in France, but I was born in Brussels. I am the subject of the King of Spain, Joy.
Spain, sir. Speak.
Upon my soul, Joy, I cannot tell you as yet.
Oh, nay, Captain, that was too hard upon the doctor. He's a stranger.
Oh, let him alone, dear Joy. I am of a nation that is not so easily put out of countenance.
Come, gentlemen, I'll end the dispute. Here, landlord, is dinner ready?
Upon the table, as the saying is.
Gentlemen, pray, that door.
Oh, no, Fred. The captain must lead.
No, doctor, the church is our guide.
Aye, so it is.
Act 3, Scene 3, the gallery in Lady Bountiful's house.
I'll die. Come, my dear boy, let's have that song once more.
No, we shall disturb the family. But will you be sure to keep the secret?
For upon my honour, as I'm a gentleman.
'Tis enough. You must know then that my master is the Lord Viscount Aimwell. He fought a duel the other day in London, wounded his man most dangerously, that he thinks fit to withdraw till he hears whether the gentleman's wounds be mortal or not. He never was in his part of England before, so he chose to retire to this place, that's all.
See? Oh, well. And where were you when your master fought?
We never know of our master's quarrels.
No. If our masters in this country here receive a challenge, the first thing they do is to tell their wives. And then the wife tells the servants alarm the tenants, and in half an hour you shall have the whole county up in arms.
To hinder two men from doing what they never have no mind for. But if you should chance to talk now of my business...
Talk? Aye, sir. Had I not learned the knack of holding my tongue, I had never lived so long in a great family.
Aye, to be sure, there are secrets in all families.
Oh, secrets, aye, but I'll say no more. Come, sit down, we'll make an end of our tankard. Here.
With all my heart. Who knows but you and I may come to be better acquainted, eh? Here's to your ladies' healths. You have 3, I think, and to be sure, there must be secrets among them.
Oh, secrets. Aye, friend. I wish I had a friend.
Am I not your friend? Come, you and I will be sworn brothers.
Shall we?
From this minute. Give me a kiss. And now, Brother Scrub.
And now, Brother Martin, I will tell you a secret that will make your hair stand on end. You must know that I am consumedly in love.
Well, that's a terrible secret. That's the truth on it.
That jade gypsy that was with us just now in the cellar is the arrantest whore that ever wore a petticoat. I'm dying of love for her.
Are you in love with her person or her virtue, Brother Scrub?
I should like her virtue best because it's more durable than beauty, for virtue holds good with some women long and many a day after they have lost it.
In the country, I grant ye, there's no woman's virtue is lost till a bastard be found.
Aye, could I bring her to a bastard, I should have her all to myself. But I dare not put it upon the lay for fear of being sent for a soldier. Pray, brother, how do you gentlemen in London like this same pressing act?
Very ill, Brother Scrub. 'Tis the worst that ever was made for us. Formerly, I remember the good days when we could dun our masters for a wage, and if they refused to pay us, we could have a warrant to carry him before the justice. But now, if we talk of eating, they have a warrant for us and carry us before 3 justices.
And to be sure we go, if we talk of eating. For the justices give their own servants a bad example. Now this is my misfortune. I dare not speak in the house while that jade gypsy, dings about like a fury. Once I had the better end of the staff.
And how comes the change now?
Why, the mother of all this mischief is a priest.
A priest?
By a damned son of a whore of Babylon that came over hither to say grace to the French officers and eat up our provisions. There's not a day goes over his head without a dinner or a supper in his house.
How came he so familiar in the family?
Because he speaks English as if he had lived here all his life, and tells lies as if he'd been a traveller from his cradle.
And this priest, I'm afraid, has converted the affections of your gypsy?
Converted? Aye, and perverted, my dear friend, for I'm afraid he has made her a whore and a papist. But this is not all. There's the French Count and Mrs. Sullen. They're in the Confederacy, and for some private ends of their own, to be sure.
Very hopeful family, yours, Brother Scrub. Suppose the maiden lady has a lover too?
Not that I know. She's the best on them, that's the truth on, but they take care to prevent my curiosity by giving me so much business that I'm a perfect slave. What do you think is my place in this family?
Butler, I suppose?
Lord help you. I'll tell you, of a Monday, I drive the coach. Of a Tuesday, I drive the plough. On Wednesday, I follow the hounds. A Thursday, I done the tenants. On Friday, I go to market. On Saturday, I draw warrants. And Sunday, I draw a beer.
If variety be the pleasure in life, you have enough on it, my dear brother. But what ladies are those?
Oh, ours. That upon the right is Mrs. Sullen, and the other is Mrs. Dorinda. Don't mind him. Sit still, man.
I've heard my brother talk of my Lord Aimwell, but they say that his brother is the finer gentleman.
It's impossible, sister.
Vastly rich, but very close, they say.
Well, no matter for that. If I can creep into his heart, I'll open his breast, I'll warrant him. I've heard say that people may be guessed at by the behaviour of their servants. I could wish you might talk to that fellow.
So do I, for I think he's a very pretty fellow. Come this way, I'll throw out a lure for him presently.
Corn, wine, and oil, indeed. But I think the wife has the greatest plenty of flesh and blood. She should be my choice. Aye, say you so? Madam, your ladyship's glove.
Oh, sir, I thank you. Handsome bow the fellow has.
Bow? Why, I have known several footmen come down from London, set up here for dancing masters, and carry off the best fortunes in the country.
That project, for aught I know, had been better than ours. Brother Scrub, why don't you introduce me?
Ladies, this is the strange gentleman's servant that you saw at church today. I understood he came from London, and so I invited him to the cellar that he might show me the newest flourish in whetting my knives.
And I hope you've made much of him.
Oh, yes, madam, but the strength of your ladyship's liquor is a little too potent for the constitution of your humble servant.
What? Then you don't usually drink ale?
No, madam. My constant drink is tea, or a little wine and water. 'Tis prescribed me by the physician for the remedy against the spleen.
Oh la, a footman have the spleen?
I thought that distemper had been only proper to people of quality.
Madam, like all other fashions, it wears out, and so descends to their servants. Though in the great many of us, I believe, it proceeds from some melancholy particles in the blood, occasioned by the stagnation of wages.
How affectedly this fellow talks. How long, pray, have you served your present master?
Not long. My life has been mostly spent in the service of ladies.
And pray, which service do you like best?
Madam, the ladies pay best. The honour of serving them is sufficient wages. There is a charm in their looks that delivers a pleasure with their commands and gives our duty the wings of inclination.
Light was above the pitch of a livery. And, sir, would not you be satisfied to serve a lady again?
As a groom of the chamber, madam, but not as a footman.
I suppose you served as a footman before?
For that reason, I would not serve in that post again. For my memory is too weak for the load of messages that ladies lay upon their servants in London. My lady Howdy, the last mistress I served, called me up one morning and told me, Martin, go to my lady all night with my humble service. Tell her I was to wait upon her ladyship yesterday and left word with Miss Rebecca that the preliminaries of their affair, should she know of, are stopped till we know the concurrence of the person that I know of, for which there are circumstances wanting, which we shall accommodate at the old place. But in the meantime, there is a person about your ladyship that from several hints and surmises was accessory to a certain time of disappointments that naturally attended things that to her knowledge are of no more importance than...
Where are you off to, sir?
Why, I haven't half done. The whole howdy was about half an hour long. So I happened to misplace 2 syllables and was turned off and rendered incapable.
The pleasantest fellow, sister, I ever saw. But friend, if your master be married, I presume you still serve a lady?
No, madam. I take care never to come into a married family. The commands of the master and mistress are always so contrary that 'tis impossible to please both.
Well, there's a main point gained. My lord is not married, I find.
But I wonder, friend, that in so many good services you had not a better provision made for you.
I don't know how, madam. I had a lieutenancy offered me 3 or 4 times, but that is not bread, madam. I live much better as I do.
Madam, he sings rarely. I was thought to do pretty well here in the country till he came, but alack a day, I'm nothing to my brother Martin.
Does he? Pray, sir, will you oblige us with a song?
Are you for passion or humour?
Holy! He has the purest ballad about a trifle.
Please, sir, let's have it.
I am ashamed to offer you a trifle, madam, but since you command me... A trifling song you shall hear, begun with a trifle and ended with trifling people draw near, and I shall be notably attended. Were it not for the trifles of few that lately come into play, and men have want something to do, and women want something to say, what makes men trifle in dressing? Because the ladies they know admire that often possessing an eminent trifle, a beau. When a lover this moment is trifled, the trifle of trifles again. No sooner the virgin is rifled, but trifle shall part them again. What mortal man should be able, what white's half to sit, or could be bear a tea table with, talking more trifles of wit. A court is more trifles secure, gold keys no trifles we see, white rods are no trifles I'm sure, whatever their bearers may be. But if you will go to the place where trifles abundantly breed, and Levy will show you his grace makes promises trifles indeed. A coach with 6 footmen behind, I count neither trifle nor sin, but ye goods now how often you find a scandalous trifle in. A flask of champagne people think it, to trifle sometimes is bad, but if you contrive how to drink it, you'll find it no trifle, egad. A parson's a trifle at sea, a widow's a trifle in sorrow, the peace will trifle today, who knows what may happen tomorrow. A black coat will trifle, may cloak, or hide it the red may endeavour, but if once more army is broke, we shall have more trifles than ever. The stage is a trifle, we say, the reason pray carry along, because every new play, the house will with trifles so throng. But if people's malice will trifle, and shall set us on a foot, the author of this is a trifle, and his song is a trifle to boot.
Very well, sir. Like you. For a pair of gloves.
I humbly beg leave to be excused. My master, madam, pays me, nor dare I take money from any other hand without injuring his honour and disobeying of his commands.
This is surprising. Did you ever see so well-bred a fellow?
The devil take him for wearing that livery.
Now, I fancy, sister, he may be some gentleman, a friend of my lord's that his lordship is pitched upon for his courage, fidelity, and discretion to bear him company in this dress, and who 10 to 1 was his second too.
It is so. It must be so, and it shall be so. I like him.
What, better than the Count?
The Count happened to be the most agreeable man upon the place, and so I chose him to serve me in my design upon my husband. But I should like this fellow better in a design upon myself.
But now, sister, for an interview with this lord and gentleman, how shall we bring that about?
Patience. You country ladies give no quarter if once you be entered. Would you prevent their desires and give the fellows their wishing time? Looky, Dorinda, if my Lord Aimwell loves you or deserves you, he'll find a way to see you. And there we must leave it. My business comes now upon the tapis. Have you prepared?
Yes, yes.
And how did he relish it?
Well, he said little, mumbled something to himself, promised to be guided by me. And here he comes.
Be trifle, 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 be trifle. What was that singing I heard just now?
Singing in your head, my dear. You complained of it all day.
You're impertinent.
I was ever so since I became one flesh with you.
One flesh. Rather two carcasses joined together unnaturally.
Or rather a living soul coupled to a dead body.
So this is fine encouragement for me.
Yes, my wife shows you what you must do.
And my husband shows you what you must suffer.
Death, can't you be silent?
Death, why can't you talk?
Do you talk to any purpose?
Do you think to any purpose?
Sit down. I shan't be home till it be late.
That he would go around the back way, come into the closet, and listen as I directed him. But let me beg you once more, dear sister, to drop this project, for I told you before, instead of awaking him to kindness, you may provoke him to a rage, and then who knows how far his brutality may carry him.
I'm provided to receive him, I warrant you. Oh, but here comes the Count. Vanish. Don't you wonder, Monsieur le Count, there was not a church this afternoon?
I wonder, madame, that you go there at all, or how you dare to lift those eyes to heaven that are guilty of so much killing.
If heaven, sir, has given to my eyes with the power of killing the virtue of making a cure, I hope the one may atone for the other.
Oh, largely, madame. Would your ladyship be as ready to apply the remedy as to give the wound? Consider, madame, I am doubly a prisoner, first to the arms of your general, and then to your more conquering eyes. Oh, my first chains are easy. There is a ransom that may redeem me, but from your fetters I never shall get free.
Alas, sir, why should you complain to me of your captivity, who am in chains myself? You know, sir, that I am bound, nay, must be tied up in that particular that might give you ease. I am like you, a prisoner of war. Of war, indeed. I have given my parole of honor. Would you break yours to gain your liberty?
Oh, certainly I would, were I a prisoner among the Turks. This is your case. You're a slave, madame, slave to the worst of Turks, a husband.
There lies my foible, I confess. No fortifications, no courage, conduct, nor vigilancy can pretend to defend a place where the cruelty of the governor forces the garrison to mutiny.
And where the besieger is resolved to die before the place. Here will I fix, with tears, vows, and prayers, assault your heart never to rise till you surrender, or if I must storm love and St. Michael, and so I begin the attack.
No, he gives me not. I could almost wish he did not. Fellow makes love very prettily. But, sir, why should you put such a value upon my person when you see it despised by one that knows it so much better?
He knows it not, though he possesses it. If he but knew the value of a jewel he is master of, he would always wear it next to his heart and sleep with it in his arms.
But since he throws me unregarded,
and one who knows your value well comes by to take you up, is that no justice?
Hold! Hold!
Do you hold?
What? Murder your husband to defend your bully?
Bully? For shame, Mr. Sullen. Bullies wear long swords. The gentleman has none. He's a prisoner, you know. I was aware of your outrage and prepared this to receive your violence. And if occasion were, to preserve myself against the force of this other gentleman.
Oh, madame, your eyes be better firearms than your pistol. They never miss.
What? Why, to my face?
Pray, Mr. Sullen, put up. Suspend your fury for a minute.
To give you time to invent an excuse.
I need none.
No, for I heard every syllable of your discourse.
Aye, and Bishop, I think the dialogue was very pretty.
Then I suppose, sir, you heard something of your own barbarity?
What does this woman call barbarity? Do I ever meddle with you?
No.
As for you, sir, I shall take another time.
Ah, Bishop, and so must I.
Looky, man, don't think that my anger proceeds from any concern I have for your honor, but for my own. And if you can contrive a way of being a whore without making me a cuckold, do it and welcome.
Sir, I thank you kindly. You would allow me the sin, but rob me of the pleasure. No, I'm resolved never to venture upon the crime without the satisfaction of seeing you punished for it.
Then you will grant me this, my dear. Let anybody else do you the favor, but that Frenchman, for mortally I hate his whole generation.
Oh, sir, that be ungrateful. Oh, Bishop, I love some of yours. Madame.
Sir.
No, sir, yes, madame, I am not your husband.
It's time to undeceive you, sir. I believed your addresses to me were no more than an amusement, and I hope you will think the same of my complaisance. And to convince you that you ought, you must know that I brought you hither only to make you instrumental in setting me right with my husband, for he was planted to listen by my appointment.
By your appointment?
Certainly.
And so, madame, while I was telling 20 stories to part you from your husband, Bishop, I was bringing you together all the while.
I ask your pardon, sir, but I hope this will give you a taste of the virtue of the English ladies.
Jean, madame, your virtue be very great, but presume your honesty be very little.
Nay, now you're angry, sir.
Angry? Celeste Dorinda. Madam, when your ladyship wants a fool, send for me. Oh, so Psyche Dorinda.
There goes the true humor of his nation. Resentment with good manners, and the height of anger in a song. Well, sister, you must be judge, for you have heard the trial.
And I bring in my brother guilty.
But I must bear the punishment. It's hard, sister.
I own it, but you must have patience.
Patience? Cant of custom. Providence sends no evil without a remedy. Should I lie groaning under a yoke I can shake off? I were accessory to my ruin, and my patience were no better than self-murder.
But how can you shake off the yoke? Your divisions don't come within the reach of a law of a divorce.
Law? What law can search into the remote abyss of nature? What evidence can prove the unaccountable disaffections of wedlock? Can a jury sum up the endless aversions that are rooted in our souls? Or can a bench give judgment upon antipathies?
They never pretended, sister. They never meddled but in case of uncleanness.
Uncleanness? Oh, sister, casual violation is a transient injury and may possibly be repaired. But can radical hatreds be ever reconciled? No, sister, nature is the first lawgiver, and when she has set tempers opposite, not all the golden links of wedlock nor iron manacles of law can keep 'em fast. Wedlock we own ordained by heaven's decree, but such as heaven ordained it first to be. Comparing tempers in the man and wife as mutual help to draw the load of life. View all the works of providence above, stars with harmony and concord move. View all the works of providence below, the fire, the water, earth, and air we know, all in one plant agree to make it grow. Must man, the chiefest work of art divine, be doomed in endless discord to repine? No, we should injure heaven by that surmise. Omnipotence is just, the man but wise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take our interval. We'll start again at, we can be generous here, make it 20 of 3. Anybody there?
Does anybody care?
Does anybody
See what
see what I see?
see. I watch that every 4th of July now.
Oh, me too. It's such a brilliant movie.
Well, they did it one of my first summer stock years, so I wasn't in it, but I got to watch rehearsals. Fell in love.
I actually saw it on a tent in Independence Mall.
Oh my gosh.
On the live on the 4th of July, 1970.
I've never gotten any further than wearing a costume from a touring company of it.
Yeah, it's.
Well, we did with Deborah Jean Templin, a Christmas
DJ.
Carol. Yeah, do you know her?
Well, I know her because of Linda Milani's ex.
She's Ron Schwinn's girlfriend.
Yeah. Anyway, to be continued. Go on.
Anyway, so we had a Christmas caroling group, and we got hired by some group, city, their neighborhood council or whatever it was, to do a 4th of July celebration down in Little Italy. And they wanted us in colonial costumes. So they rented us costumes from a touring company, one of the touring companies in storage of 1776. They were gorgeous costumes, but they were wool. At least mine was. And it was 102 that day. And I thought I was going to die, I swear. Fortunately, we were going in and out of restaurants, so that saved it. But
I missed the beginning of this. What show are you talking about?
1776. Oh. Yeah. Which is a show that I would love to do sometime. It's brilliant.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think I told you last time, this show has come up before, but I played Samuel Chase.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you told me
the fat one because it was done in college. So like it was between the design school and the acting school, we all did stuff. So they had to design me as being fat without putting prosthetics on my face. So they had me like clean shaven, and they drew in like a fake jowl line, like a fake, so that from the huge stage, it would look like I had no neck. So kind of like this.
Please tell me you got pictures.
I might actually.
I'll find them.
I look like a Fabergé egg, the costume I have.
Hysterical.
Yeah.
I get it. I've been there. They had to pad me up for Queen Victoria, but my face and Buttercup, and my face didn't match my body.
Right.
And everyone complains about that. So it's like,
you're like, well,
Abe Lincoln said you can't please everyone. And I'm
right.
paraphrasing.
Mm-hmm.
Dig up the pictures. I want to see them.
Yeah.
They're from college, so I might have. College was a dark time for me, so they might be just gone somewhere in some drawer.
I'll show you the pictures of me in fishnet and stiletto heels for Rocky Horror.
Oh, I do have a picture of me in The Mystery of Edwin Drood,
Ooh,
in which I'm all in prosthetics.
Oh,
that's a great show for you.
I played Jasper, but we did it like as if like it was a Victorian music hall. So we all were like our actor characters. And so my like actor character was like sexy, and my playing Jasper was like evil villain. So I had like these eyebrows that were like way up here, and a fake nose, and a beard that I couldn't grow yet. And I looked kind of like Rasputin.
It's interesting. I saw a small scale production of Mystery Edwin Drood in London.
Yeah.
With I think just 15 people, but they actually used English music hall songs to warm up the audience before each act.
That's perfect.
It worked brilliantly. It was just wonderful production.
The cool thing we had was we had a donut and a turntable, and we had it so that we never left the stage. So on the side, you can see us in the wings sitting there smoking or doing whatever we're doing. Yeah. And we had a character who was on a bicycle. So it looked like the bicycle was moving the turntable.
Mm.
It was really cute.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you know Richard Holmes is.
Yeah.
Brother,
and I've got to say that there's some good music in that.
Oh yeah, I like it. I like the show a lot.
Yeah. Good times.
How's Richard doing, Dave? You heard?
I don't know. I hear
Well,
here and there that he's doing okay.
Yeah.
I haven't actually talked to him in a long time.
Vicky, you've seen him?
yeah, he's well.
Okay, good.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, I've seen him about 2.5, 3 weeks ago, and he was, I mean, he looks a bit frail these days, but he seems to be fine.
Good. Did you
Wonderful. Thank you for reminding me to text him.
work with him at the Met?
Yeah, for the last 20 plus years.
Ah, okay.
That's where I met him.
Right.
40 plus
Right.
years ago. When I was 12 years old, I was in the kids chorus.
You were kids, right?
I vividly remember. He remembers the same performance I do, where something went slightly wrong.
Yes, Richard Wood.
Richard has an amazing memory.
Oh yeah.
God in heaven. I mean, hats off.
Well, hair too.
I have an interesting story about when I met him or when I didn't meet him.
Yeah.
Which was, there was a record shop in London that used to sell pirate recordings, and I went in there saw a recording I wanted, and decided I didn't want to walk around London with it, so I would pick it up on my way home. When I got back there afterwards to go home, it had gone. And when I first started at the Met, we were doing technical rehearsals, and Richard was supering in the technical rehearsals. Actually, it was John Dexter's Abduction. But anyway, and I started talking about this, and he said, "Oh, I've got it. I went into the store and I got it." So we were in the same store on the same day in London in about 1974, but we missed each other and then got back together 5 years later.
Was it
He
that
lent
one?
me the recording, and I took a copy of it. So.
Was it that place that has the used CDs in?
No, it was a place called Hunter, and it was in the arches underneath Waterloo Station.
Ah, okay.
And which is why it was so handy, because you could get off the train and just pop into the record shop, see what was there. But it, then on the way back, before going back into Waterloo to catch the train home, just stop off to pick up one's goodies when they were there.
Yeah. Because there's another place that's just down the street from the old Vic. Oh.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, it's it was still there the last time I was in London. I don't know if it's there
All
now.
of those places have gone now.
Yeah.
The last time I was on stage before COVID, like 2 weeks before the shutdown, was doing a concert Pirates. I was the Pirate King and Richard was Major General. We had like no rehearsal. Orphan scene. You guys know that?
Yep.
It was amazing working with him. We just sort of fell into this Abbott and Costello rhythm without ever having done it before together. He was great.
Well, Richard must have done that many times, that role.
I'm sure, yeah. It was a pleasure.
Every role.
5 years to get back on stage with him.
Richard has done, what does he say? I think he told me he was in his 160s in terms of the number of roles he'd done.
Nearly as good as Charlie Anthony, eh, Stephen?
Well, I was thinking more of Placido, actually.
All right.
All right, we better get back to it. Everybody here?
Yes.
Present.
Okay. We are at Act 4, Scene 1, the gallery in Lady Bountiful's house.
Were I born in humble Turk, where women have no soul nor property, there I must sit contented. But in England, countries whose women are its glory, must women be abused? Where women rule, must women be enslaved? Nay, cheated into slavery, mocked by a promise of comfortable society into a wilderness of solitude. I dare not keep the thought about me. Oh, here comes something to divert me.
I come, and it please your ladyship. You're my Lady Bountiful, ain't ye?
Oh, well, good woman, go on.
I've come 17 long mile to have a cure for my husband's sore leg.
Your husband? What woman? Cure your husband?
My poor man, for his sore leg won't let him stir from home.
Well, I confess you have given me a reason. Well, good woman, I'll tell you what you must do. You must lay your husband's leg upon a table And with a chopping knife, you must lay it open as broad as you can. Then you must take out the bone and beat the flesh soundly with a rolling pin. Then take salt, pepper, cloves, mace, and ginger, some sweet herbs, and season it very well. Then roll it up like brawn and put it into the oven for 2 hours.
Heavens, reward your ladyship. Well, I have 2 little babies, 2 that are piteous bad with grapes. And please ye.
Put a little pepper and salt in their bellies, good woman. I beg your ladyship's pardon for taking your business out of your hands. I've been tampering here a little with one of your patients.
Come, good woman. Don't mind this mad creature. I am the person that you want, I suppose. What would you have, woman?
She wants something for her husband's sore leg.
What's the matter with her leg, goody?
It come first, as one might say, with a sort of dizziness in his foot. Then he had a kind of laziness in his joints, and then his leg broke out, and it swelled, and then it closed again, and then it broke out again, and then it festered, and then it grew better, and then it grew worse again.
How can you be merry with the misfortunes of other people?
Because my own make me sad, madam.
The worst reason in the world, daughter. Your own misfortunes should teach you to pity others.
But the woman's misfortunes and mine are nothing alike. Her husband is sick, and mine, alas, is in health.
What? Would you wish your husband sick?
Out of a sore leg, of all things.
Well, good woman, go to the pantry, get your belly full of victuals, then I'll give you a receipt for diet drink for your husband. But you hear, goody, you must not let your husband move too much.
No, no, madam. The poor man's inclinable enough to lie still.
Well, daughter Sullen, though you laugh, I have done miracles about the country here with my receipts.
Miracles indeed, if they have cured anybody. But I believe, madam, the patient's faith goes farther toward the miracle than your prescription.
Fancy helps in some cases, but there's your husband who has as little fancy as anybody. I brought him from death's door.
I suppose, madam, you made him drink plenty free of ass's milk.
News, dear sister, news, news.
Where is my Lady Bountiful? Pray, which is the old lady of you 3?
I am.
Oh, madam, the fame of your ladyship's charity, goodness, benevolence, skill, and ability have drawn me hither to implore your ladyship's help in behalf of my unfortunate master, who is at this moment breathing his last.
The master, where is he?
At your gate, madam. Drawn by the appearance of your handsome house to view it nearer, and walking up the avenue within 5 paces of the courtyard, he was taken ill of a sudden of a sort of, I know not what, but down he fell and there he lies.
Here, Scrub, Gypsy. All run. We'll give my easy chair downstairs, put the gentleman in it, and bring him quickly, quickly.
Oh, heaven will reward your ladyship for this charitable act.
Is your master used to these fits?
Oh, yes, madam, frequently. I have known him have 5 or 6 of a night.
What's his name?
Lord, madam, he's a-dying. A minute's care and neglect may save or destroy his life.
Ah, poor gentleman. Come, friend, show me the way. I'll see him brought to myself.
Oh, sister, my heart flutters about strangely. I can hardly forbear running to his assistance.
Now lay my life, he deserves your assistance more than he wants it. Not I tell you that my lord would find a way to come at you? Love's his distemper, and you must be the physician. Put all your charms, summon all your fire into your eyes, plant the whole artillery of your looks against his breast, and down with him.
Oh, sister, but I'm a young gunner. I shall be afraid to shoot, for fear the piece should recoil and hurt myself.
Never fear, you shall see me shoot before you, if you will.
Oh, no, dear sister, you have missed your mark so unfortunately that I shan't care for being instructed by you.
Enter Ainwell in the chair carried by Archer and Scrub, counterfeiting a swoon.
Here. Oh, let's see the Hawthorn drops. Gypsy, a glass of fair water. His fit's very strong. Bless me, how his hands are clenched.
Oh, shame, ladies. What do you do? Why do you not help us? Pray, madam, take his hand and open it if you can, whilst I hold his head.
Oh, poor gentleman. Oh, he's got my hand within his and squeezes it unmercifully.
'Tis the violence of his convulsions, child.
Oh, madam, he's perfectly possessed in these cases. He'll bite if you don't have a care.
Oh, my hand!
What's the matter with the foolish girl? I have got his hand open, you see, with a great deal of ease.
Aye, but madam, your daughter's hand is somewhat warmer than your ladyship's, and the heat of it draws the force of the spirits that way.
Friend, you're very learned in these sorts of fits.
'Tis no wonder, madam, for I have often been troubled with them myself. I find myself extremely ill at this moment.
I fancy I could find a way to cure you.
His fit holds him very long.
Longer than usual, madam. Pray, young lady, open his breast and give him air.
Where did his illness take him first, pray?
Today at church, madam.
In what manner was he taken?
Very strangely, my lady. He was of a sudden touched with something in the eyes, which at the first he only felt, but could not tell whether 'twas pain or pleasure.
Wind. Nothing but wind.
By soft degrees it grew and mounted to his brain, where there his fancy caught it. There formed it so beautiful and dressed it up so gay, in such gay, pleasing colours, that his transported appetite seized the fair idea and straight conveyed it to his heart. That hospitable seat of life sent all his sanguine spirits forth to meet and open all its sluicy gates to take the stranger in.
Your master should never go without a bottle to smell to. Oh, he recovers. The lavender water, some feathers to burn under his nose, hungry water to rub his temples. Oh, he comes to himself. Hem a little, sir, hem. Gypsy, bring the cordial water.
How do you, sir?
Where am I? Sure, I have passed the gulf of silent death, and now I land on the Elysian shore. Behold the goddess of these happy plains, fair Proserpine. Let me adore thy bright divinity.
So, I knew where the fit would end.
Oh, Eurydice, perhaps. Oh, how could thy Orpheus keep his word and not look back upon thee? No treasure but thyself could sure have bribed him to look 1 minute off thee.
Delirious, poor gentleman.
Oh, very delirious, madam, very delirious.
Oh, Martin's voice, I think?
Yes, my lord. How does your lordship?
Oh,
Lord, do you mind that, girls?
where am I?
In very good hands, sir. You were taken just now with one of your old fits under the trees, just by this good lady's house. Her ladyship had you taken in and has miraculously brought you to yourself, as you see.
I am so confounded with shame, madam, that I can now only beg pardon and refer my acknowledgments for your ladyship's care till an opportunity offers of making some amends. I dare be no longer troublesome. Martin, 2 guineas to the servants.
Oh, you may catch cold by going so soon into the air. You don't look, sir, as if you were perfectly recovered.
That I shall never be, madam. My present illness is so rooted that I must expect to carry it to my grave.
Don't despair, sir. I have known several in your distemper. Shake it off with a fortnight's physic.
Come, sir. Your servant has been telling me that you're apt to relapse if you go out into the air. Your good manners shan't get the better of ours. You shall sit down again. Come, sir. We don't mind ceremonies in the country. Here, sir, my service to you. You shall taste my water. 'Tis a cordial, I can assure you, and of my own making. Drink it oft. And now do you find yourself now, sir?
Somewhat better, though very faint still.
Aye, aye. People are always faint after these fits. Come, girls, you shall show the gentleman the house. 'Tis but an old family building, sir, but you'd better walk about and cool by degrees, then venture immediately into the air. You'll find it some tolerable pictures there. Dorinda, show
So
the
anything
gentleman
else
the
or
way.
just to enter? Okay,
Must go,
Okay,
the poor woman
thank you.
below.
you too. Yeah.
This way, sir.
You too. Enjoy the rest of your, yeah.
Hi, Paul, you're on.
Ladies, shall I beg leave for my servant to wait on you? For he understands pictures very well.
Sir, we understand originals as well as he does pictures, so he may come along.
Save your Master Scrub.
Sir, I won't be saved your way. I hate a priest. I abhor the French and I defy the devil. Sir, I am a bold Briton and I will spill the last drop of my blood to keep out popery and slavery.
Master Scrub, you would put me down in politics. And so I would be speaking with Mistress Shipsy.
Good, Mr. Priest, you can't speak with her. She's sick, sir. She's gone abroad. Sir, she's dead 2 months ago, sir.
How now? Impudence! How dare you talk so saucily to the doctor? Pray, sir, don't take it ill. Not so civil to strangers as...
Lie, you lie. 'Tis the common people that are civilest to strangers.
Sarah, I have a good mind to get you out, I say.
I won't.
You won't, saucebox. Pray, doctor, what is the captain's name that came to your inn last night?
Ah, the captain. Ah, the devil there, she hampers me again. The captain has me on one side and the priest on t'other. So between the gown and the sword, I have a fine time on't. But sedunt arma toga.
What, Sarah, won't you march?
No, my dear, I won't march, but I'll walk. And I'll make bold to listen a little too.
Indeed, doctor. The Count has been barbarously treated. That's the truth on it.
Ah, Mrs. Shipsy, upon my soul now, Gra, his complainings would mollify the marrow in your bones and move the bowels of your commiseration. He weeps and he dances and he whistles and he swears and he laughs and he stamps and he sings. In conclusion, Joy, he's afflicted à la Francais, and a stranger would not know whether to cry or to laugh with him. Are you there?
I think Christine's connection is bad.
Yeah, she told me that earlier. We may have to continue with somebody else reading the scene. Christina? I think we've lost her.
Well, if it's not confusing, I'll do her part if you want.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to do something. Yeah.
Okay. Where were we? What would you have me do?
Afflicted à la Francais, the stranger would not.
I'm sorry.
Oh, here she is. Okay. Enjoy. He's afflicted à la Francais, and the stranger would not know whether to cry or to laugh with him.
What would you have me do, doctor?
Not enjoy, but only hide the Count in Mrs. Sullen's closet when it is dark.
Nothing? Is that nothing? It would be both a sin and a shame, doctor.
Here is 20 louis d'or for your shame, and I will give you an absolution for the shame.
Sir, won't that money look like a bribe?
Oh, that is according as how you shall take it. If you receive the money beforehand, it will be logiche, a bribe, but if you state it afterwards, it will be only a gratification.
Well, doctor, I'll take it, logice. But what must I do with my conscience, sir?
Leave that with me, Joy. I am your priestra, and your conscience is under my hands.
But should I put the Count into that closet?
Well, is there any sin for a man being in a closet? One may go to prayers in the closet.
But if the lady should come into her chamber and go to bed?
Well, and is there any sin in going to bed, Joy?
But if the parties should meet, doctor?
Well, then, the parties must be responsible. Do you be going after putting the count into the closet and leave the shins with themselves? I will come with the count to instruct you in your chamber.
Well, Doctor, your religion is so pure. Methinks I'm so easy after an absolution and can sin afresh with so much security that I'm resolved to die a martyr too. Here's the key of the garden door. Come in the back. I'll be ready to receive you, but don't so much as whisper. Just only take hold of my hand. I'll lead you, and do you lead the count, and follow me.
What witchcraft now have these two imps of the devil been hatching here? There's 20 louis d'ors. I heard that, and I saw the purse. Oh, but I must give room to my betters.
Pray, sir, how do you like that piece?
Oh, 'tis leader. You find, madam, how Jupiter comes disguised to make love.
But what think you there of Alexander's battles?
Ah, we only want a Lebrun, madam, to do greater battles and a greater general of our own. The Danube, madam, would make a greater figure in a picture than the Granicus, and we have our Ramillies to match their Arbella.
Hey, sir, what head is that in the corner there?
Oh, madam, 'tis poor Ovid in exile.
What was he banished for?
His ambitious love, madam. His misfortune touches mine.
Was he successful in his amours?
There he left us in the dark. He was too much a gentleman to tell.
If he were secret, I pity him.
If he were successful, I envy him.
How do you like that Venus over the chimney?
Venus? I protest, madam, I took it for your picture. But now I look again, 'tis not so handsome.
Oh, what a charm is flattery. If you would see my picture, there it is over that cabinet. How do you like it?
I must admire anything, madam, that has the least resemblance of you, but methinks, madam... Pray, madam, who drew it?
A famous hand, sir.
A famous hand? Madam, your eyes indeed are featured there, but where's the sparkling moisture, shining fluid in which they swim? The picture indeed has your dimples, but where's the swarm of killing cupids that should ambush there? The lips, too, are figured out, but where's the carnation dew, the pouting ripeness that tempts the taste in the original?
Had it been my lot to have matched with such a man?
Your breasts, too, presumptuous man. Do what? Paint heaven? Apropos, madam, the very next picture is Salmonius that was struck dead with lightning for offering to imitate Jove's thunder. I hope you served the painters so, madam.
Had my eyes the power of thunder, they should employ their lightning better.
There's the finest bed in that room, madam. I suppose 'tis your ladyship's bedchamber?
And what then, sir?
I think the quilt is the richest I ever saw. I can't at this distance, madam, distinguish the figures of the embroidery. Will you give me leave, madam?
Devil take his impudence. Sure, if I gave him an opportunity, he durst not offer it. I have a great mind to try. Steph, what am I doing? And alone, too. Sister! Sister!
I'll follow her close. For where a Frenchman durst attempt to storm, a Briton sure may well the work perform.
Martin! Brother Martin!
Oh, Brother Scrub, I beg your pardon, I was a-going. There's a guinea for my master ordered you.
A guinea? A guinea! Oh, by this light, it is a guinea. But I suppose you expect me 1 and 20 shillings in change.
Not at all. I've got another for Gypsy.
A guinea? For her? Faggot and fire for the witch. Sir, give me that guinea and I'll discover a plot.
A plot?
Aye, sir, a plot and a horrid plot. First, it must be a plot because there's a woman in it. Secondly, it must be a plot because there's a priest in it. And thirdly, it must be a plot because there's French gold in it. And fourthly, it must be a plot because I don't know what to make on it.
Nor anybody else, I'm afraid, Brother Scrub.
Truly, I'm afraid so too. For where there's a priest and a woman, there's always a mystery and a riddle. This I know, that here has been the doctor with a temptation in one hand and an absolution in the other. And Gypsy has sold herself to devil. I saw the price paid down. My eyes shall take their oath on't.
And is all this bustle about Gypsy?
That's not all. I could hear but a word here and there, but I remember they mentioned a count, a closet, a back door, and a key.
The Count? Did you hear nothing of Mrs. Sullen?
Well, I did hear some word that sounded that way, but whether it was Sullen or Dorinda, I could not distinguish.
You have told this matter to nobody, brother?
Told? No, sir, I thank you for that. I'm resolved never to speak one word pro or con till we have a peace.
Oh, you're in the right, Brother Scrub. There's a treaty afoot between the Count and the lady. The priest and the chambermaid are the plenipotentiaries. It shall go hard, but I find a way to be included in the treaty. Where's the doctor now?
He and Gypsy are this moment devouring my lady's marmalade in the closet.
Martin! Martin!
Oh, I come, sir, I come.
But you forgot the other guinea, Brother Martin.
Oh, here, I give it with all my heart.
Well, I'll take it with all my soul. God, I'll spoil your plotting, Mrs. Gypsy. And if you should set the captain upon me, these 2 guineas will buy me off.
Well, sister.
And well, sister.
What's become of my lord?
What's become of his servant?
Servant. He's a prettier fellow and a finer gentleman by 50 degrees than his master.
Oh, my conscience, I fancy you could beg that fellow at the gallows foot.
My conscience I could, provided I could put a friend of yours in his room.
You desired me, sister, to leave you when you transgress the bounds of honour.
Now, dear censorious country girl, what dost mean? Think of the man without the bedfellow, I find.
I don't find anything unnatural in that thought. While the mind is conversant with the flesh and blood, it must conform to the humours of the company.
A little love and good company improves a woman. Why, child, you begin to live. Never spoke before.
Because I was never spoke to. My lord has told me that I have more wit and beauty than any of my sex, and truly I begin to think the man is sincere.
You're in the right, Dorinda. Pride is the life of a woman, and flattery is our daily bread. And she's a fool that won't believe a man there as much as she that believes him in anything else. But I'll lay you a guinea that I had finer things said to me than you had.
Done. What did your fellow say to you?
My fellow took the picture of Venus for mine.
But my lover took me for Venus herself.
Common cat. Had my spark called me a Venus directly, I should have believed him a footman in good earnest.
But my lover was upon his knees to me.
Mine was upon his tiptoes to me.
Mine vowed to die for me.
Mine swore to die with me.
Mine spoke the softest moving things.
Mine had his moving things too.
Mine kissed my hand 10,000 times.
Mine is all that pleasure to come.
Mine offered marriage.
Oh, Lord. Do you call that a moving thing?
The sharpest arrow in his quiver, my dear sister. Why, my 10,000 pounds may lie brooding here this 7 years and hatch nothing at last but some ill-natured clown like yours. Whereas if I marry my Lord Aimwell, there will be titled place and precedence. The park, the play, and the drawing room, splendid noise and flambeau. Oh, hey, my Lady Aimwell's servants there. Lights to the stairs. My Lady Aimwell's coach put forward, stand by and make room for her ladyship. Are not those things moving? What, melancholy all of a sudden?
Happy sister. Your angel has been watchful for your happiness. Whilst mine has slept, regardless of his charge. Long smiling years of circling joys for you, but not 1 hour for me.
Oh, come, my dear, we'll talk of something else.
Dorinda, I own myself a woman, full of my sex, a gentle, generous soul, easy in yielding to soft desires, spacious heart, where love and all his train might lodge. And must the fair apartment of my breast be made a stable for a brute to lie in?
Meaning your husband, I suppose.
No. Even husband is too soft a name for him. But come, I expect my brother here tonight or tomorrow. He was abroad when my father married me. Perhaps he'll find a way to make me easy.
Will you promise me not to make yourself easy in the meantime with my lord's friend?
You mistake me, sister. It happens with us. As among the men, the greatest talkers are the greatest cowards. And there's a reason for it. Those spirits evaporate in prattle, which might do more mischief if they took another course. But to confess the truth, I do love that fellow. And if I met him dressed as he should be, and I undressed as I should be, look, sister, I have no sympathy for this. I can't swear I could resist the temptation, though I can safely promise to avoid it, and that's as much as the best of us can do.
Act 4, Scene 2, a room in Boniface's Inn.
And the awkward kindness of the good motherly gentlewoman.
And the coming easiness of the young one. 'Sdeath, 'tis pity to deceive her.
Nay, if you adhere to these principles, stop where you are.
I can't stop, for I love her to distraction.
Death, if you love her a hair's breadth beyond discretion, you must go no further.
Well, anything to deliver us from sauntering away our idle evening at White's, Tom's, or Will's, and to be stinted to bear looking at our old acquaintance, the cards, because our impotent pockets can't afford us a guinea for the mercenary drabs.
Or to be obliged to some purse-proud coxcomb for a scandalous bottle, where we must not pretend to our share of discourse because we can't pay our club o' the reckoning. Damn it, I'd rather sponge upon Morris and sup upon a dish of bones scored behind the door.
And there expose our want of sense by talking criticisms, as we should our want of money be railing at the government.
Or be obliged to sneak into the side box between both houses, steal 2 acts of a play, and because we had money to see the other 3, we come away discontented, and the whole and damn the whole 5.
And 10,000 such rascally tricks. Had we outlived our fortunes among our acquaintance. But now...
Now is the time to prevent all of this. Strike while the iron is hot. This priest is the luckiest part of our adventure. He shall marry you and pimp for me.
But I should not like a woman that can be so fond of a Frenchman.
Alas, sir, necessity has no law. The lady may be in distress. Perhaps she has a confounded husband, and her revenge may carry her farther than her love. Egad, I had so good an opinion of her and of myself that I begin to fancy strange things. And we must say this for the honor of our women, and indeed of ourselves, that they do stick to their men as they do their Magna Carta. If their plot lies as I suspect, I must put on the gentleman. But here comes the doctor. I shall be ready.
Save you, noble friend.
Oh, sir, your servant. Pray, doctor, may I crave your name?
What name is upon me? My name is Farquhar, Joy.
Farquhar. Very good name for a clergyman. Pray, Dr. Farquhar, were you ever in Ireland? Ireland.
Oh, Joy, what sort of place is that same Ireland? They say the people are catched there when they are young.
And some of them when they are old, as, for example, sir, I arrest you as a traitor against the government. You're a subject of England, and this morning showed me a commission by which you served as chaplain in the French army. This is death by our law, and your reverence must hang for it.
Upon my soul, noble friend, this is strange news you tell me. Father Farquhar, a subject of England, the son of a burgomaster of Brussels, a subject of England.
The son of a bog trotter in Ireland. Sir, your tongue will condemn you before any bench in the kingdom.
And is my tongue all your evidence, Joy?
That's enough.
No, Joy, for I will never speak English again.
Sir, I have other evidence. Here, Martin. You know this fellow?
Oh, save you, my dear cousin. How does your health?
Upon my soul, there is my countryman. His brogue will hang mine. Mein Herr, ich weet nicht, was sie sagt. Ich unverstande nicht die Sakrament.
Altering your language won't do, sir. This fellow knows your person and will swear to your face.
Fish, is that a brogue upon my face, sir?
Upon my salvation, dearest Joy. But cousin MacShane, will you not put a remembrance upon me?
MacShane, by St. Patrick, that's my name, sure enough.
I fancy, Archer, you have it.
The devil hang you, Joy, but what acquaintance are you, my cousin?
Oh, the devil hang yourself, Joy. You know we were little boys together at the school, and your foster mother's son was married upon my nurse's sister. Joy, and we are Irish cousins.
The devil take the relation. Well, Joy, and what school was it?
I thinks it was 'twas Tipperary.
No, Joy, it was Kilkenny.
That's enough for us. Self-confession. Come, sir, we must deliver you into the hands of the next magistrate.
He sent you to jail. You're tried in exercises and go away and swing into purgatory.
And is it so with you, cousin?
It will be so with you, cousin, if you don't immediately confess the secret between you and Miss Gypsy. Looky here, sir. The gallows are the secret. Take your choice.
The gallows? Oh, upon my soul, I hate that same gallows, but it is a disease that is fatal to our family. Well, then there is nothing, gentlemen, but Mrs. Sullen would speak with the Count in her chamber at midnight, and there is no harm, Joy, for I am to conduct the Count to the place myself.
As our guest, have you communicated the matter to the Count?
I've not seen him since.
Right again. Why then, Doctor, you shall conduct me to the lady instead of the Count.
What, my cousin to the lady? Upon my soul, that is too much upon the brogue.
Come, Doctor. Consider we have got a rope about your neck, and if you offer to squeak, we'll stop your windpipe. Most certainly we shall have another job for you in a day or two, I hope.
Here's company coming this way. Let's into my chamber, and there concert our affairs further.
Come, my dear cousin, come along.
Gentlemen, 'tis a fine night for our enterprise.
Dark as hell.
And blows like the devil. Our landlord here has showed us the window where we must break in and tells us the plate stands in the wainscot cupboard in the parlour.
Aye, Mr. Bagshot. As the saying is, knives and forks and cups and cans and tumblers and tankards. There's one tankard, as the saying is, that's near upon as big as me. It was a present to the squire from his godmother and smells of nutmeg and toast like an East India ship.
Then you say we must divide at the stairhead?
Yes, Master Hounslow, as the saying is, at one end of the gallery lies my Lady Bountiful and her daughter, and at the other, Mistress Sullen. As for the squire...
He's safe enough. I've fairly entered him, and he's more than half seas over already. But such a parcel of scoundrels got about him. God, I was ashamed to be seen in their company.
'Tis now 12, as the saying is. Gentlemen, you must set out at 1.
Hounslow, do you and Bagshot see our arms fixed, and I'll come to you presently.
We will.
Well, my dear Bonnie, you assure me the scrub is a coward.
A chicken, as the saying is. You'll have no creature to deal with but the ladies.
And I can assure you, friend, there's a great deal of address and good manners in robbing a lady. I am the most a gentleman that way ever traveled to the road. But, my dear Bonnie, this prize will be a galleon, a Vigo business. I warrant you, we shall bring off 3,000 or 4,000 pounds.
In plate, jewels, and money, as the saying is, you may.
Why then, Tyburn, I defy thee. I'll get up to town, sell off my horse and arms, buy myself some pretty employment in the household, and be as snug and as honest as any courtier of them all.
And what think you then of my daughter Cherry for a wife?
Oh, looky, my dear Bonnie, Cherry is the goddess I adore, as the song goes. But it is a maxim that man and wife should never have it in their power to hang one another. For if they should, The Lord have mercy on them both.
Act 5, Scene 1. A room in Boniface's Inn.
Coming, coming. A coach and 6 foaming horses at this time of night? Some great man, as the saying is, for he scorns to travel with other people.
What, fellow? A public house and a bed where other people sleep?
And a bed, as the saying is.
Is Mr. Sullen's family abed, think you?
All but the squire himself, sir, as the saying is. He's in the house.
What company has he?
Why, sir, there's the constable, Mr. Gage, the exciseman, the hunchbacked barber, and 2 or 3 other gentlemen.
I find my sister's letters gave me the true picture of her spouse.
Sir, here's the squire.
Ah, well, he's left me asleep. Sir!
Well, sir?
Sir, I am an unfortunate man. I have £3,000 a year, and I can't get a man to drink a cup of ale with me.
That's very hard.
Aye, sir. And unless you have any pity on me and smoke 1 pipe with me, I must e'en go home to my wife. And I had rather go to the devil by half.
But I presume, sir, you won't see your wife tonight. She'll be gone to bed. You don't used to lie with your wife in that pickle.
Oh, what, I not lie with my wife? Why, sir, do you take me for an atheist or a rake?
If you hate her, sir, I think you had better lie from her.
I think so too, friend, but I'm a justice of the peace and must do nothing against the law.
Law, as I take it, Mr. Justice, nobody observes the law for law's sake, only for the good of those for whom it was made.
But if the law orders me to send you to jail, you must lie there, my friend.
Not unless I commit a crime to deserve it.
A crime? Oh, ain't I mad?
Nay, sir, if you call a marriage a crime, you must disown it for a law.
I must be acquainted with you, sir. But, sir, I should be very glad to know the truth of this matter.
Truth, sir, is a profound sea, and few there be that dare wade deep enough to find out the bottom of it. Besides, sir, I'm afraid the line of your understanding mayn't be long enough.
Looky, sir, I have nothing to say in your sea of truth, but if a good parcel of land can entitle a man to a little truth, I have as much as any he in the country.
I never heard your worship, as the saying is, talk so much before.
Because I never met with a man I liked before.
Pray, sir, as the saying is, let me ask you one question. Are not man and wife one flesh?
You and your wife, Mr. Guts, may be one flesh because you are nothing else, but rational creatures have minds that must be united.
Minds?
Aye, minds, sir. Don't you think that the mind takes the place of the body?
In some people.
Then the interest of the master must be consulted before that of his servant.
Sir, you shall dine with me tomorrow. Oh, I always thought that we were naturally one.
Sir, I know that my 2 hands are naturally one because they love one another, kiss one another, help one another in all the actions of life. But I could not say so much if they were always at cups.
Then 'tis plain that we are 2.
Why don't you part with her, sir?
Will you take her, sir?
With all my heart.
You shall have her tomorrow morning, and venison pasty into the bargain.
You'll let me have her fortune, too.
Fortune? Why, sir, I've no quarrel with her fortune. I only hate the woman, sir, and none but the woman shall go.
But her fortune, sir...
Can you play at whisk, sir?
No, truly, sir.
Nor at all fours?
Neither.
Wounds, where was this man bred? Burn me, sir. I can't go home. 'Tis but 2 o'clock.
For half an hour, sir, if you please. But you must consider 'tis late.
Late? Well, that's the reason I can't go to bed. Come, sir.
What's the matter? You tremble, child. You're frightened.
No wonder, sir. But in short, sir, this very minute, a gang of rogues are gone to rob my Lady Bountiful's house.
How?
I dogged him to the very door and left him breaking in.
Have you alarmed anybody else with this news?
No, sir. I wanted to have discovered the whole plot and 20 other things to your man Martin, but I've searched the whole house and can't find him. Where is he?
No matter, child. Will you guide me immediately to the house?
With all my heart, sir. My Lady Bountiful is my godmother, and I love Mrs. Dorinda so well.
Dorinda! The name inspires me. The glory and the danger shall be my own. Come, my life, let me but get my sword.
Act 5, Scene 2. A bedchamber in Lady Bountiful's house.
It's very late, sister. No news of your spouse yet.
No, I'm condemned to be alone till towards 4. Then perhaps I may be executed with this company.
Well, my dear, I'll leave you to your rest. You'll go directly to bed, I suppose.
I don't know what to do. Hey-ho.
That's a desiring sign, sister.
It's a languishing hour, sister.
And might prove a critical minute if the pretty fellow were here.
Yeah? What? In my bedchamber, 2 o'clock in the morning, I undressed, the family asleep, my hated husband abroad, and my lovely fellow at my feet. God, sister.
Thoughts are free, sister, and them I allow you. So, my dear, good night.
A good rest to my dear Dorinda. Not free. Are they so? I then suppose him here, dressed like a youthful, gay, and burning bridegroom. Ah! Have my thoughts raised a spirit? What are you, sir, a man or a devil?
A man, madam.
How shall I be sure of it?
Madam, I'll give you a demonstration this minute.
But, sir, do you intend to be rude?
Yes, madam, if you please.
I do not wonder, whence came ye?
From the skies, madam. I am Jupiter in love, and you shall be my Alcmena.
How came you in?
I flew in at the window, madam. Your cousin Cupid lent me his wings, and your sister Venus opened the casement.
I am struck dumb with wonder.
And I with admiration.
What will become of me?
How beautiful she looks. The teeming jolly spring smiles in her blooming face. When she was conceived, her mother smelt to roses, looked on lilies. Lilies, unfold your white, your fragrant charms, when the warm sun thus darts into your arms.
Ah!
Wounds, madam, what do you mean? You'll raise the house.
Sir, I'll wake the dead before I bear this. What, approach me with the freedom of a keeper? I'm glad on't. Your impudence has cured me.
If this be impudence, I leave to your partial self. No panting pilgrim ever after tedious, painful voyage ever bowed before his saint with more devotion.
Oh, now I'm ruined if he kneels. Rise, thou prostrate engineer. Not all thy undermining skill shall reach my heart. Rise and know I am a woman without my sex. I can love to all the tenderness of wishes, sighs, and tears, but go no farther. So, to convince you that I'm more than woman, I can speak my frailty, confess my weakness, even for you, but...
For me?
Hold, sir. Build not upon that. For my most mortal hatred follows if you disobey what I command you now. Leave me this minute. If he denies, I'm lost.
Then you'll promise?
Anything, another time.
When shall I come?
Tomorrow, when you will.
Your lips must seal the promise. They must, they must. Raptures in paradise. And why not now, my angel? The time, the place, the silence, the secrecy, all conspire. And now conscious stars have preordained this moment for my happiness.
You will not, cannot.
If the sun rides fast and disappoints not mortals of tomorrow's dawn, this night shall crown my joys.
My sex's pride, assist me.
My sex's strength help me.
You shall kill me first.
I shall die with you.
Thieves, thieves, murder!
Thieves, thieves, murder, popery!
Ha! The very timorous stag will kill in rutting time.
Oh, I pray, sir, spare all I have and take my life.
What's the fellow mean?
Oh, madam, down upon your knees, your marrow bones. He's one of them.
Of whom?
One of the rogues! Well, I beg your pardon, one of the honest gentlemen that just now here broke into the house.
How?
Hope you did not come to rob me.
Indeed, I did, madam, but I would have taken nothing but what you might have spared. But your crying thieves has awakened this dreaming fool, and so he takes them for granted.
Granted? 'Tis granted, sir. Take all we have.
The fellow looks as if he were broke out of bedlam.
Oh, madam, they broke into the house with fire and sword. I saw them, heard them. They'll be here this minute.
What, thieves?
Under favour, sir, I think so.
What shall we do, sir?
Madam, I wish your ladyship a good night.
Will you leave me?
Leave you? Lord, madam, did you not command me to leave just now upon pain of immortal hatred?
Nay, but pray, sir.
Now comes my turn to be ravished. You see now, madam, you must use men one way or another. But take this by the way, good madam, that none but a fool will give you the benefit of his courage unless you'll give his love along with it. How are they armed, friend?
With sword and pistol, sir.
Hush. I see a dark lantern coming through the gallery. Madam, be assured I'll protect you or lose my life.
Your life? Oh, sir, they can rob me of nothing that I value half so much. For now, sir, let me entreat you to be gone.
No, madam. I'll consult my own safety for the sake of yours. I'll work by stratagem. Have you courage enough to stand the appearance of them?
Yes, since I escaped your hands, I can face anything.
Come hither, brother Scrub. Do you know me?
Hey, my dear brother, let me kiss thee. Mwah!
This way, here.
Aye, aye. This is the chamber, and the lady alone.
Who are you, sir? What would you have? Do you come to rob me?
Rob you? Alack a day, madam, I'm only a younger brother, madam. And so, madam, if you make a noise, I'll shoot you through the head. But don't be afraid, madam. These rings, madam, oh, don't be concerned, madam. I have a profound respect for you, madam. Your keys, madam, don't be frightened, madam. I'm the most of a gentleman. This necklace, madam, I never was rude to any lady. I have a veneration for this necklace.
Hold, profane villain, and take the reward of thy sacrilege.
Oh, pray, don't kill me. I am prepared.
How many is there of them, Scrub?
45, sir.
Then I must kill the villain to have him out of the way.
Hold, sir. We are but free upon my honor.
Scrub, will you undertake to secure him?
Not I, sir. Kill him! Kill him!
Run to Gypsy's chamber. There you'll find a doctor. Bring him hither presently. Come, you rogue. If you have a short prayer, say it.
Sir, I have no prayer at all. The government has provided a chaplain to say prayers for us on these occasions.
Pray, sir, don't kill him. You frighten me as much as him.
The dog shall die, madam, for being the occasion of my disappointment. Sirrah, this moment is your last.
Sir, I'll give you £200 to spare my life.
Have you no more, rascal?
Oh, yes, sir, I can command 400, but I must reserve 2 of them to save my life at the sessions.
Here, doctor. I suppose Scrub and you, between you, may manage him. Lay hold of him, doctor.
What? Turned over to the priest already? Looky, doctor, you come before your time. I ain't condemned yet, I thank ye.
Come, Major Joy, I will secure your body and your soul too. I will make you a good Catholic and give you an absolution.
Absolution? Can you procure me a pardon, doctor?
No, Joy.
Then you and your absolution may to the devil.
Convey him to the cellar. There, bind him. Take the pistol. In the offers to resist, shoot him through the head. And come back to us with all speed you can.
Aye. Come, doctor. Do you hold him fast, and I'll guard him.
But how came the doctor?
In short, madam, Steph, the rogues are at work with the other ladies. I'm vexed to be parted with the pistol, but I must fly to their assistance. Will you stay here, madam, or venture yourself with me?
With you, dear sir, with you.
Act 5, Scene 3, another bed chamber in the same house.
Come, your jewels, mistress.
Your keys, oh gentlewoman.
Turn this way, villains. I durst engage an army in such a cause.
Oh, madam, had I but a sword to help the brave man.
There's 3 or 4 hanging up in the hall. But they won't draw. I'll go fetch one, however.
Hold, my lord. Every man his bird, pray.
Yeah.
What? The rogue's taken? Then they'll impeach my father. I must give him timely notice.
Shall we kill the rogues?
No, we'll bind them.
Aye. Here, madam, lend me your garter.
Who's in this fellow? He fights, loves, and banters, all in a breath. Here's a cord that the rogues brought with them, I suppose.
Oh, right. The rogue's destiny, a rope to hang himself. Come, my lord, this is but a scandalous sort of an office. If our adventure should end in this sort of hangman work, but I hope there is something in prospect that... Well, Scrub, have you secured our Tartar?
Yes, sir. I left the priest and him disputing about religion.
And pray, carry these gentlemen to reap the benefit of the controversy?
Pray, sister, how came my lord here?
And pray, how came the gentleman here?
The greatest piece of villainy.
I fancy, Archer, you've been more successful in your adventures than the housebreakers.
No matter for my adventures, yours is the principle. Press her this very moment to marry you. Now, while she's hurried between the palpitation of her fear and the joy of her deliverance. Now, while the tide of her spirits is at high flood, throw yourself at her feet, speak some romantic nonsense or other, address her like Alexander in the height of his victory, confound her senses, bear her down with reason, and away with her. The priest is now in the cellar and dare not refuse to do the work.
But how shall I get off without being observed?
You, a lover, and not find a way to get off? Oh, let me see.
You bleed, Archer.
Yes, I'm glad on it. This wound will do the business. I'll amuse the old lady and Mrs. Sullen about dressing my wound, while you carry off Dorinda.
Gentlemen, could we understand how you would be grateful for the services
Oh, come, madam. It is no time for compliments. I am wounded, madam.
How? Wounded?
I hope, sir, you have received no hurt?
None but what you may cure.
Let me see your arm, sir. I must have some powder sugar to stop the bleed. Oh, me! An ugly gash. Upon my word, sir, you must go to bed.
Aye, my lady, a bed will do very well. Madam, will you do me the favor and conduct me to your chamber?
Do, daughter, while I get the lint and probe and the plaster ready.
Come, madam. Why don't you obey your mother's commands?
How can you, after what has passed? Have the confidence to ask me?
And if you go to that, how can you, after what has passed, have the confidence to deny me? What is not this blood shed in your defense and my life exposed for your protection? Look'ee, madam, I'm none of your romantic fools to fight against giants and monsters for nothing. My valor is downright Swiss. I'm a soldier of fortune. I must be paid.
It's ungenerous in you, sir, to upbraid me with your services.
'Tis ungenerous in you, madam, not to reward them.
No, it's to my honor.
Honor? Can honor consist with ingratitude? If you would deal like a woman of honor, do like a man of honor. Do you think I would deny you in such a case?
Madam, my lady ordered me to tell you that your brother is below at the gate.
My brother, heavens be praised. Sir, he shall thank you for your services. He has it in his power.
Who is your brother, madam?
Sir Charles Freeman. You'll excuse me, sir. I must go and receive him.
Sir Charles Freeman. 'Sdeath and hell, my old acquaintance. Now, unless Amel has good use of his time, all our fair machine goes souse into the sea like the Eddystone.
Act 5, Scene 4, the gallery in the same house.
Well, my lord, you have conquered. Your late generous action will, I hope, plead for my easy yielding, though I must own your lordship had a friend in the fort before.
Oh, the sweets of high blood dwell upon her tongue. Here, doctor.
Are you prepared, Beaux?
I'm ready, but first, my lord, one word. I have a frightful example of a hasty marriage in my own family, and when I reflect upon it, it shocks me. Pray, my lord, consider a little temperance.
Consider, do you doubt my honor or my love?
Neither. I do believe you equally just as brave, and were your whole sex drawn out from to choose, I should not cast a look upon the multitude if you were absent. But, my lord, I am a woman. Colours, concealments may hide 1,000 faults in me, and therefore know me better first. I hardly dare affirm I know myself in anything except my love.
Oh, such goodness, who could injure? I find myself unequal to the task of villain. She has gained my soul and made it honest like her own. I cannot hurt her. Doctor, retire. Madam, behold your lover and your proselyte, and judge of my passion by my conversion. I'm all a lie, nor dare I give a fiction to your arms. I'm all counterfeit except my passion.
Forbid it, heaven, a counterfeit.
I am no lord, but a poor needy man, come with a scandalous design to prey upon your fortune. But the beauties of your mind and person have so won me from that myself that, like a trusty servant, I prefer the interest of my mistress to my own.
Sure, I've had the dream of some poor mariner, sleepy image of a welcome port, and wake involved in storms. Pray, sir, who are you?
Brother to the man whose title I usurped, but stranger to his honor or his fortune.
Matchless honesty. Once I was proud, sir, of your wealth and title, but now I'm prouder that you want it. I can show my love was justly levelled and had no aim but love. Doctor, come in. Your pardon, sir. We shan't want you now. Sir, you must excuse me. I'll wait on you presently.
Upon my soul now, this is foolish.
Gone. And bid the priest depart. It has an ominous look.
Courage, Tom. Shall I wish you joy?
No.
Boons, man, what have you been doing?
Oh, Archer, my honesty, I fear, has ruined me.
How?
I have discovered myself.
Discovered? And without my consent? What, have I embarked my small remains in the same bottom as yours, and you dispose of all without my partnership?
Oh, Archer, I own my fault.
After conviction, 'tis then too late for pardon. You may remember, Mr. Aimwell, that you proposed this folly. As you begun, so end it. Henceforth, I'll hunt my fortune single. So farewell.
Oh, stay, my dear Archer, but a minute.
Stay? What, to be despised, exposed, and laughed at? No, I would sooner change conditions with the worst of the rogues we just now bound than bear one scornful smile from the proud knight that once I treated as my equal.
What knight?
Sir Charles Freeman, brother to the lady that I had almost... But no matter for that. 'Tis a cursed night's work, and so I leave you to make the best on't.
Freeman, one word, Archer. Still, I have hopes. Methought she received my confession with pleasure.
'Sdeath, who doubts it?
She consented after to the match, and still, I dare believe she will be just.
To herself, I warrant her, as you should have been.
Oh, by all my hopes she comes, and smiling comes.
Come, my dear lord, I fly with impatience to your arms. The minutes of my absence were a tedious year. Where's this priest?
Oon's a brave girl.
I suppose, my lord, this gentleman is privy to our affairs?
Yes, madam. I'm to be your father.
Come, priest, do your office.
Make haste, couple 'em away. Come, madam, I will give you.
No, my mind's altered, I won't.
Eh?
I'm confounded.
By my soul, and so is myself.
What's the matter now, madam?
Look ye, sir, one generous action deserves another. This gentleman's honour obliged him to hide nothing from me. My justice engages me to conceal nothing from him. In short, sir, you are the person that you thought you counterfeited. You are the true Lord Viscount Aimwell, and I wish your lordship joy. And now, priest, you may be gone. If my lord is pleased now with the match, let his lordship marry me in the face of the world.
What does she mean?
Here's a witness to my truth.
My dear Lord Aimwell, I wish you joy.
Of what?
Of your honor and estate. Your brother died the day before I left London, and all your friends have rid after you to Brussels. Among the rest, I did myself the honor.
Harkee, Sir Knight, don't you banter now.
'Tis truth, upon my honor.
Thanks to the pregnant stars that formed this accident.
Thanks to the womb of time that brought it forth. Away with it.
Thanks to my guardian angel that led me to the prize.
And a double thanks to the noble Sir Charles Freeman, my lord. I wish you joy. My lady, I wish you joy. Egad, Sir Freeman, you're the honestest fellow living. 'Sdeath, I'm grown strange airy upon this matter. My lord, how do ye? A word, my lord. Don't you remember something of the previous agreement that entitles me to the moiety of this lady's fortune, which I think will amount to £5,000?
Not a penny, Archer. You would have cut my throat just now because I would not deceive this lady.
Aye, and I'll cut your throat again if you should deceive her now.
That's what I expected. And to end the dispute, the lady's fortune is £10,000. We'll divide stakes. Take the £10,000 or the lady.
How is your lordship so indifferent?
No, madam. His lordship knows very well that I'll take the money. I leave you to his lordship, and so we're both provided for.
Mesdames et messieurs, I am your servant, thrice humble. I hear you be robbed here.
The ladies have been in some danger, sir.
And Bija, our inn be robbed too.
Our inn? By whom?
By the landlord, Bija. Garzulia robbed himself and ran away.
Robbed himself?
Aye, Bija, and me too of £100.
£100?
Yes, that I owed you.
Our money's gone, Frank.
Rot the money, my wench is gone. Avez-vous quelque chose de Mademoiselle Chérie?
I have a... Is there one Martin here?
I, who wants him?
I have a box here and a letter for him.
What's there, legerdemain? By this light, my lord, your money again. But this unfolds a riddle. Oh, 'tis for the public good and must be communicated in company. Mr. Martin, my father, being afraid of an impeachment by the rogues that are taken tonight, is gone off. But if you can procure him a pardon, he'll make great discoveries that may be useful to the country. Could I have met you instead of my master tonight, I would have delivered myself into your hands, with a sum which much exceeds that in your strong box, which I have sent you with an assurance to my dear Martin that I shall ever be his most faithful friend till death. Cherry Boniface. There's a billet doux for you. As for the father, I think he ought to be encouraged. And for the daughter, pray, my lord, persuade your bride to take her into your service instead of Gypsy.
I can assure you, madam, your deliverance was owing to her discovery.
Your command, my lord, will do without the obligation. I'll take care of her.
This good company meets opportunely in favor of a design I have in behalf of my unfortunate sister. I intend to part her from her husband. Gentlemen, will you assist me?
Assist you? Death who would not?
Assist, garçon, we all assist.
What's all this? They tell me, spouse, that you would like to have been robbed.
Truly, spouse, I was pretty near it. Had not these two gentlemen interposed?
How came these gentlemen here?
That's his way of returning thanks, you must know.
Garçon, the question be apropos for all that.
You promised last night, sir, that you would deliver your lady to me this morning.
What do you mean by Sir, you shall deliver her. In short, sir, we have saved you and your family, and if you are not civil, we'll unbind the rogues, join with them, and set fire to your house. What does that man mean, not part with his wife?
I got soon, the man no understand common justice.
Hold, gentlemen. All things here must move by consent. Compulsion would spoil us. Let my dear and I talk the matter over. You shall judge it between us.
Let me know first, who are to be our judges? Pray, sir, who are you?
I am Sir Charles Freeman, come to take away your wife.
And you, good sir?
Thomas, Viscount Aimwell, come to take away your sister.
And you, pray you?
Francis Archer, Esquire, come.
To take away my mother, I hope. Oh, gentlemen, you're heartily welcome. I never met with three more obliging people since I was born. Now, my dear, if you please, you shall have the first word.
And the last for £5.
House.
Rib.
How long have we been married?
By the almanac, 14 months. By my account, 14 years.
Is thereabout by my reckoning.
Garçon, the account will agree.
Hey, spouse, what did you marry for?
To get an heir to my estate.
Have you succeeded?
No.
The condition fails of his side. Pray, madam, what did you marry for?
For the weakness of my sex by the strength of his, and to enjoy the pleasures of an agreeable society.
Are your expectations answered?
No.
A clear case, a clear case!
What are the bars to your mutual contentment?
In the first place, I can't drink ale with him.
Nor can I drink tea with her.
I can't hunt with you.
Nor can I dance with you.
I hate cocking and racing.
I abhor ombre and piquet.
Your silence is intolerable.
Your pointing is worse.
Have we not been a perpetual offense to each other? A gnawing vulture at the heart?
A frightful goblin to the sight.
A porcupine to the feeling?
Perpetual wormwood to the taste.
Is there on earth a thing we could agree in?
Yes, to part.
With all my heart.
Your hand.
Here.
These hands joined us, these hands shall part us. Away.
North.
South.
East.
Oh, and for the poles, far as the poles asunder.
Richard, the ceremony will be very pretty.
Now, Mr. Sullen, there wants only my sister's fortune to make us easy.
Sir Charles, you love your sister, and I love her fortune. Everyone to his fancy.
Then you won't refund?
Not a stiver.
Then I find, madam, you must even go to your prison again.
What is the portion?
£10,000, sir.
Soon I'll pay it, and she shall go home with me.
French all over. Do you know, sir, what £10,000 English is?
Oh, Richard, non, justement.
Why, 'tis 100,000 livres.
100,000 livres, garçon, we cannot do it. Your beauties and their fortunes are both too much for me.
Then I will. This nice adventure has proved strangely lucky to us all, for Captain Gibbet in his walk made me bold, Mrs. Sullen, with your study and escritoire, and had taken out all the writings from your estate, all the articles of marriage with this lady, bills, bonds, leases, receipts of infinite value. I took them from him to deliver them to Sir Charles.
Oh, my writings! Oh, my head ached consumedly. Well, gentlemen, you shall have her fortune, but I can't talk. If you have a mind, Sir Charles, to be merry and celebrate my sister's wedding and my divorce, you may command my house. But my head aches consumedly. Struck! Oh, bring me a dram.
Madam, there's a country dance to Trifle that I sung yesterday. Your hand, and we'll lead it up.
Here, a dance. Shortest dance on record.
It would be hard to guess which of these parties is better pleased, the couple joined or the couple parted, the one rejoicing in hopes of an untasted happiness, and the other in their deliverance from an experienced misery. Both happy in their several states we find, those parted by consent and those conjoined. Consent, if mutual, saves a lawyer's fee. Consent is law enough to set you free.
And curtain.
Yay!
Bravo, everybody. Great job. Despite the gremlins of the internet being even worse than usual this afternoon.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, no.
That was very silly.
That was very
What did you say? I'm sorry.
It's very silly. I'm now in the mood for King Lear.
Oh.
I need an antidote.
Well, that's cheer. Yeah, that's a 360.
Actually, we should be in the mood for the sequel. Shall we do the sequel?
Bell's
It's called
Stratagem.
The Bell's Stratagem, and it's written by a lady, Hannah Conway.
And her name is Hannah? We got to do it.
Oh, we're still being recorded. We're done.
Turn us off before we say anything scandalous.
It's taken a very long time to do this. I don't know why, but I've been on this thing 20 minutes before he shuts it off. So, you know, we're gonna make a big documentary behind the scenes at ISC.
What do you say about School for Scandal, Stephen?
Instant Shakespeare Company.
We did it a while ago when we were still in person.
You missed my point.
Yeah,
I can't hear.
Good job, everybody.
Fearless leader has joined us.